When local matters. Valley Office Systems, your local provider for all things office. Copiers, printers, office furniture, and document management. Proudly serving Idaho since 1974. Valley Office Systems.
Some days, I choose the most difficult trail. I test my limits.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy, but I know it's the right way.
When I get done with my ride and I look back at what I've just accomplished, I feel amazing.
It takes courage and determination to do hard things.
But you can do them.
Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
You can't make summer stand still, so make the most of every last second with a new Toyota at Toyota's National Sales Event.
During Toyota's National Sales Event, discover our wide variety of fuel-efficient electrified vehicles. Toyota, let's go places.
We're a valley-wide country store. For 100 years, we've been your #1 choice for food, fuel, farm supplies, and just about everything else you could need to get you through your day. We know you work until the job is done, and so do we. For gas on the go, or a little extra to help you get down the road, you can count on us. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
Vaping sucks you in quick, and the more you vape, the harder it is to quit. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems. That's why thousands of teens are joining My Life, My Quit. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
All right, I put this on one check. Is that okay? Draw?
That was fast and secure. It's Mobile Wallet from Lookout Credit Union.
Your home team, when local matters. Valley Office Systems, your local provider for all things office. Copiers, printers, office furniture, and document management. Proudly serving Idaho since 1974. Valley Office Systems.
Good evening and welcome into this IdahoSports.com GameStreams production of Gate City Game Night presented by Lookout Credit Union. Tonight's game is also brought to you by Valley Office Systems and Portneuf Medical, along with our major advertising partners, Project Filter, Valleywide Cooperative, the Idaho Transportation Department, the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, Next Steps Idaho, and your local Toyota dealers. We come to you live tonight from Iron Horse Stadium in Pocatello for a monumental District 5-6 showdown in Class 5A football as the Rigby Trojans, 5-1 on the season, take on the 3-3 Highland Rams. Hi, everybody, inside the broadcast booth. Brandon Bainey alongside Sean Kane. Well, it's the conference opener for both of these teams, and ironically enough, this could be the game that ultimately decides the conference at the end of the season.
Yeah, it's a big game for both teams. No conference games yet, and yeah, we've seen it before. It decided a lot last year. Luckily, they both found their way, Rigby and Highland, to the championship game. And just to think about it, the last 7 games between Highland and Rigby has went 4-3, and they played twice last year, once in the regular season and once in the championship game where Rigby went on to be the 5A state champions 44-21. So a lot on the line here tonight, Brandon.
Yeah, and for Highland, a team that comes in 3-3 on the year, they've got a really solid defense. The offense was kind of touch and go for a while, but last week in that 34-28 win over Blackfoot, I think they kind of found their offensive identity as we see the Highland Rams take the field. And really, it's RPO football, run pass option. Drew Hymas had over 140 yards on the ground, a couple touchdowns as well. So this is a Highland team that feels like they're playing their best football of the season at the right time.
Yeah, Highland played really well offensively last week versus Blackfoot. You know, they found their offensive footing. You know, going back and watching that game, they did have a few holding penalties and a few turnovers, and I think for Highland really to come away with a win tonight, they're going to have to eliminate mistakes against a really good Rigby defense, which is the third best in the state right now, allowing only 9.8 points per game.
Yeah, that Rigby defense really led at the linebacker level by Zach Hawks, Connor Knighting, and then in the secondary, Zabe Falavai, one of the best cover corners in the state of Idaho, regardless of classification. And this is a Rigby team, Sean, that they're the defending 5A champs. They lost all their skill players from a year ago, but it hasn't really mattered that much. And so we will meet those Rigby Trojans in just a moment. But right now, we'll step aside for our national anthem and come on back for Gate City Game Night. It's Rigby, it's Highland, it's next on IdahoSports.com.
Your home team, when local matters. Valley Office Systems, your local provider for all things office. Copiers, printers, office furniture, and document management. Proudly serving Idaho since 1974. Valley Office Systems.
Welcome back to Iron Horse Stadium on the campus of Highland High School in Pocatello for Gate City Game Night, presented by Lookout Credit Union. A 5A showdown, a rematch of last year's 5A championship game, the Rigby Trojans and the Highland Rams. Brandon Bainey alongside Sean Kane here on Gate City Game Night. Let's go ahead and break down these two teams a little further as the captains are out at midfield for the coin toss. You know, Armando Gonzalez, he's in his 6th year as the head coach at Rigby. So his first season was 2017. The first 2 times he played Highland, Rigby kind of got smoked. They lost 33-0 in 2017. And then in 2018, they lost 41-22. But since then, Rigby's won 4 in a row over Highland, including last year in the 5A championship by a score of 27-12. So Rigby on a little 4-game win streak in this rivalry series.
Yeah, definitely Rigby's kind of had the upper hand in the games. You know, and like anyone would say, they wouldn't really care if they lose the regular season if they win in the state championship, right? But unfortunately, Rigby was able to do that. And, you know, Highland hasn't beaten a 5A team yet this year, so that would be, you know, a big play for Highland if they could come up with a win tonight. But very tough task with Rigby.
Yeah, we talked about, you know, looking ahead to the playoffs because we're in the final 3 weeks of the regular season. Here's our Class 5A bubble watch, Sean, and if the playoffs ended today, just based upon the standings, District 5-6 gets 2 automatic bids to the playoffs, and then from there, more teams can earn their way in via an at-large bid, but there's only 2 at-large bids available. So right now, Rigby and Madison would have the top 2 spots. Madison's 1-0 in conference. They're playing Thunder Ridge tonight, I believe. And so for Highland and Rigby, they haven't actually played in conference yet. And the problem is that to get one of those at-large bids, you'll see right here on the bubble, it's Highland, even though they're 3-3 and they've got a better record than some of the teams that are quote-unquote in. The only determining factor that's used to determine the at-large bids is your winning record against 5A opponents or out-of-state opponents with 5A enrollment, and Highland doesn't have any of those. The 3 wins that they have are all against 4A opponents, and those do them no good. Now, Rigby's in a similar boat, except that they've got a win over Coeur d'Alene, right, and a win over a pretty good Utah team as well. So Rigby's got a couple of those wins bankrolled in. So for Highland, basically, these next 3 weeks, these 3 conference games will define their season.
Yeah, I mean, Highland's basically, if you look at on the bubble watch, they've got to win out the rest of the season to have a chance at one of those at-large bids. And, I mean, if they win tonight, then they're in their own driver's seat. But, you know, say if Highland didn't win tonight, they've really got to finish out the season undefeated to just sneak in there.
When joints begin to fail, it's more than an inconvenience.
And for Rigby, you know, they're on course of their own. They can drive their own car into the state tournament, right? If they can win tonight and hopefully win out the rest of their conference games. But kind of a lot up because all the conference games are at the tail end of these guys' schedules.
Certainly, and so that's what you want, right? The most important games coming at the end of the year. Rigby will be kicking off to start the proceedings tonight. Highland will be back on the return. I talked to each coach before the game tonight. Nick Sorrell for Highland, Armando Gonzalez for Rigby. They both said the same thing. Key to the game tonight, stopping the run.
Yeah, I would say turnovers too. The last few times they've met, turnovers have played a pretty big factor.
Yeah, Coach Gonzalez said Rigby has had way too many penalties and turnovers lately, and they've got to clean that up. So here is Highland out on the return to the 15, a cut up to the 20, and a nice return out to the 25-yard line. And on the return for the Highland Rams, looked like it was number 30, Isaac Wilkes. That's number 20 maybe. I don't know. That's his jersey.
Carter Knighting, maybe?
His jersey got all bunched up, so it was hard to see that number. 1st and 10 for the Highland Rams in the black uniforms tonight. They start everybody bunched in tight, and now they'll go 5 wide. Drew Hymas on 1st down. A penalty flag comes out, and the pass is incomplete anyways. I think this play might be dead before the play could get started. We'll see what the call is here.
Yeah, and I think that's definitely something Highland's going to have to look at, is eliminating some of the penalties, and unfortunately that looks like it's a false start.
False start against Highland, so 11 seconds into the ball game, 11:49 to play first quarter. 1st and 15 already for the Rams.
While we have a second, just check out. I don't know if we'll be able to get it, but check out the moon there. We got the moon, big. It's much bigger than what you can see on the camera. But
well, we are in the month of October, Halloween. Hopefully there were no werewolves watching. They might be going berserk in their homes now.
Oh, Brandon, you've always got the silver bullet.
1st and 15 now for Highland on a full moon night in Pocatello. Hymas play action, flushed out and sacked inside the 10. On the charge for the Rigby Trojans, Sam Webster, the senior defensive end, and down goes Hymas, 2nd and long.
Wow, nice play by the Rigby defense, and that's going to be the matchup. Rigby's defense, and can Highland generate some offense against a pretty stout defense, like I said, only allowing 9.8 points per game this season over 6 games.
So it's 2nd down and 25 now, Sean. Highland with the ball back at their own 10. 11 minutes to play in our opening quarter of action. Rams have gone nowhere but backwards here on this initial drive of the game. Hymas, pump fake in the end zone, buys time, hits across the middle. That'll be a gain of 4. I believe that was Mason Fulmer, the running back, on the reception.
Pass by Hymas is complete to Kai Reno.
Actually, Kai Reno. No, so Mason Fulmer, 27.
Bring up 3rd down and 20.
So 3rd down and 20 now for Highland following the 5-yard completion. And there was a moment there on that last pass, Sean, where Drew Hymas was in the end zone and there was a Rigby rusher right there.
Yeah, that Highland riding in white, and there was white jerseys all around him.
And now we've got another stoppage of play and a timeout taken by Rigby. So while we have a moment, we'll tell you that tonight's game is brought to you in part by the Daiquiri Bernard Realty Group. They've helped thousands of families buy and sell real estate in Southeast Idaho with over 50 years combined experience. The Daiquiri Bernard Realty Group's whole team is dedicated to making your transaction an amazing experience. They believe in delivering exceptional personalized service, superior market expertise, and the highest quality of care for every single client. They care about you and the communities they live in. That's why they give back to a charity of your choice at closing. That's pretty cool. The Daiquiri Bernard Realty team wants to wish the Rigby boys good luck. Tonight's game also brought to you by Scotty's True Value and CarQuest, dedicated to providing you with great customer service and a wide variety of products unmatched to help take care of your every hardware, automotive, and weekend project need. They're located at 201 South State Street in beautiful downtown Rigby. Give them a call at 745-6498 or visit them online at truevalue.com/Scotties and let them take care of you the hometown way. Scotty's True Value is a proud supporter of Rigby Athletics. Go Trojans. So out of that timeout by Rigby, want to make sure, on 3rd and 20, everything's buttoned up defensively here. Hymas will take off and run and will slip away initially, but only pick up a couple.
Hymas on the keeper.
Nice job defensively by Rigby, swarming, and that was Webster again on the tackle. 4th down.
Yeah, and I remember watching some of Rigby games last year, and they were not afraid to take a defensive timeout early and whenever they needed. So, pretty common practice for the Trojans.
Is that Falabai set to receive?
Zabe Falabai back deep to return this punt for Rigby, standing around his own 42-yard line. Could get great field position depending on what happens here. Was that punt blocked? It was! It's scooped up for a Rigby touchdown! Jack Boudreau recovers the blocked punt for a Rigby touchdown.
The return was taken to the end zone by Jack Boudreau.
Wow, and if I'm not mistaken, there was a blocked punt last year, perhaps in the game too, against Rigby and Highland. So, wow, what a turn of events.
A special teams play by Rigby leads to the first touchdown of the night. What a play. I didn't see who blocked it, but Boudreau, somehow the ball bounced right to him, and now, without the offense even taking the field, it's a 6-0 Rigby advantage, and on for the point after try is Ben Witherspoon, the senior. High snap. Witherspoon's kick is up and through. And so 7-0 Rigby with the lead with 9:23 to play in our opening quarter of action. We'll be back right after this break. You're watching Gate City Game Night presented by Lookout Credit Union on IdahoSports.com.
I love Lookout's campus branch. The vibe and the service. But with digital banking, it all comes to me. My customizable dashboard provides all my information. Accounts, cards.
Anything else?
I'm good. Bill pay, even my credit score. Gotta go. I mean, you gotta go download this app and upload convenience today.
Welcome back to Gate City Game Night on IdahoSports.com. Brandon Bainey alongside Sean Kane, where the Rigby Trojans take an early 7-0 lead. Highland on their opening drive moved backwards on penalties, a sack by Sam Webster, and ultimately punting from basically their own end zone. It's blocked. Jack Boudreau scoops and scores from about 10 yards out, Sean. What a start for the Trojans.
Yeah, just like we were talking about in pregame, the Rigby Trojan defense has just been on point, and coming up with some points right there is just huge. The offense doesn't even have to take the field.
Barella and Cantu back to receive.
So we'll have to see what Highland can come up with now.
And this kickoff blown dead before it can start. Somebody might have been offside.
Offsides on Rigby.
And you were right. Offsides on Rigby. That's a good call.
I mean, it gets old being right all the time, Sean. It's a heavy burden I carry, but
they have the turnover chains for some teams. We've got the, you got the call right by the official chain up here in the booth.
We got the dunce cap for me. That's what.
We can't have you sit in the corner the whole game.
That's right. So Rigby will kick off again, except now they'll move it back 10 yards and kick from their own 35. So Highland's got a chance at a good return here. And ultimately didn't matter.
Yeah,
touchback.
It looks like Highland maybe had a play on it, just kind of let it go into the end zone. So, yeah, interesting. It was one of those where maybe if he picks it up, I don't know. Probably the best call at that point to get the field position.
First and 10 from their own 20. Mason Fulmer on the carry, close to a 10-yard gain in the first down. We'll see where they mark it. They're going to say, yeah, move the chain. So 10 yards for Fulmer on first down. And he picks up the 10 yards Hymas lost on that sack. So Highland right back to 0 for rushing yards tonight.
That's better than negative.
Right.
So
9 minutes to play here in our first quarter of action. They will hand off again. The ball is fumbled. Hymas will pick it up and get something out of nothing. Boy, Rigby had a chance at the fumble recovery in their second turnover in as many possessions. Hymas picks it up off the grass and ends up taking it for a gain of 6.
And yeah, Hymas only had maybe 1 or 2 guys that if he would have gotten by it, it could have been a touchdown.
So now it'll be second down and 4 for Highland. Oh, they actually, second down and 4, we'll call it. 8:20 to play here in the opening quarter of action. A 7-0 Rigby lead on a blocked punt and returned by Jack Boudrero for a touchdown. Hymas slinging, caught by Ridge Barella right at the 50-yard line. Gain of 13 and a first down.
Barella did a good job coming back to get that ball, and that's where his speed is so crucial for the Highland offense.
Ridge carrying on the family lineage of wearing the number 3. His older brother Raymond Barella wore that number the last couple of seasons for Highland. And
I think they wore it in basketball too.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, so maybe has some family significance, or they just like it.
And another pass complete to
number 4,
Colt Durham out to the 40, and it's another first down. So Hymas back-to-back completions. And Colt Durham continuing the family lineage of wearing the number 4. His older brother, Easton Durham, wore the number 4 the last couple of years for Highland. Easton was the guy throwing the passes, not catching them. He was the quarterback for Highland. And
if you've got that on your bingo board, mark it down.
That's right. First and 10 for Highland, ball at the Rigby 40-yard line. QB sweep this time by Hymas. Great block on the perimeter from Kai Callan, and that will spring Hymas for a 40-yard touchdown. Highland gets the tying score. It was all set up by the block by Kai Callan, the wide receiver out on the edge, and Hymas takes it in from 6.
It was a nice job by Hymas just to wait for that block to happen, and once it did, it was clear sailing.
Great blocking on the edge.
And this is what we talked about with Highland, a team that's kind of found their offensive identity, that run-pass option, RPO game. And we saw it on display there as Hymas runs it in for a 40-yard touchdown run. James Francis on for the point after try.
Units for the kick is good.
And the kick is through. So Sevens with 7:03 to play here in our opening quarter of action. We'll be back right after this break. You're watching Gate City Game Night on IdahoSports.com.
When joints begin to fail, it's more than an inconvenience. The relentless grinding pain slows you down and can even stop you from doing the things you enjoy in life. At Portneuf Medical Center, our skilled orthopedic experts are using advanced robotic surgeries to get you back to being you sooner with a less painful recovery. We're doing more than restoring joints. We're restoring lives.
Welcome back to Gate City Game Night on IdahoSports.com. Brandon Bainey with Sean Kane, and we are tied at 7-all with 7:03 to play in our first quarter of action. Highland, the latest to score on the 40-yard touchdown run by Drew Hymas, the quarterback, and now the Rams will kick off. This will be a line drive kick taken on a bounce at the 5-yard line. This is Zabe Falavai on the return. Falavai out to the 20 and brought down at the 24. Nice special teams tackle that time for Highland by Gunnar Wilhelm. And he's a key guy on that Rams defense as well. Tonight's game on IdahoSports.com is brought to you in part by Idaho Drug and Rigby, a tradition in pharmacy since 1947 where your health is their priority. Whether you need a prescription refilled on their mobile app or a gift for that special someone, visit Idaho Drug at 139 East Main Street for all your pharmacy and drugstore needs. They also offer free local delivery. Idaho Drug is a proud supporter of Rigby Athletics and wants to wish the boys good luck tonight. So we get to see this Rigby Trojan offense for the first time tonight. Luke Flowers is the trigger man. Junior, first year as the starting QB for Rigby. He's going to take a home run shot on first down. He's got a man. That's Jace Benedict. Out to the 46-yard line of the Rams and a first down.
Number 11, Jace Benedict. Rigby first down.
That is a pass completion of 32 yards and a first down.
Well, you know, we hadn't seen him, or I hadn't seen him play Flowers, and that looks pretty good.
Benedict was out to start the season. He's back now, though, and a welcome part of this receiving crew. There's a drop pass in the flat by Brevin Larson, the tight end, and this is a Rigby team that's got like tight ends galore. They've got Aaron Archibald, they've got Cohen Peck, they've got Brevin Larson, who we just saw. We talked about they lost all of their skill players from a year ago, but hasn't really seemed to slow them down much.
Not at all.
So 2nd and 10 for Rigby, ball at the Highland 47-yard line. Flowers back to pass, has time, fires, nearly intercepted, but broken up.
Knocked down by number 11.
Nice coverage out there by Colton George. Outside linebacker and a good one.
Now, does he have the same number?
No. I'm trying to think. I don't know. Logan George was his older brother, of course. Great defensive end. And I was actually talking to Logan's dad yesterday at the Bob Conley cross-country invite that Pocatello hosted. Slant route over the middle. And Rigby picks up the first down. That is Brady Packer. And he's been the number one receiver in this Rigby offense this year. That goes from the 47 to the 33. So a gain of, actually the 34. So that is a gain of, 13 and a first down? I'm getting better at my math, Sean. You've been tutoring me every week, and it's really paying off.
I'm just real proud of you.
1st and 10 for Rigby. Ball at the Highland 34. 6 minutes to play, opening quarter of action. Option play this time. Pitch out is corralled. Only a couple of yards gained by Peyton Klinger, the running back, and Klinger gets a couple.
Carried by
the backfield.
30, Klinger. Hit first by Colton George.
The backfield is a little different from Rigby when the season started, and they actually mark him back for a loss of 2 on that carry. So Lucas McCullough was the starting running back when the season began, and he's out with an injury. Sam Gamino, a transfer from Idaho Falls High School, was ruled ineligible by the IHSAA at the start of the year, appealed it, lost the appeal, reappealed, won the appeal, and he's been back since the Bonneville game 3 weeks ago. This will be his 3rd game of competition. So the Rigby backfield looks a little different than it did early in the season. They toss it out to Brady Packer this time on the perimeter. There's a penalty flag, but they pick it up and wave it off. So Packer will get that yardage out to the 28-yard line. And that will be a gain of 6 in the 3rd and 5 now.
3rd down.
A key 3rd down here for Highland defensively. Can they get a stop here on 3rd and 6? Flowers over the middle. Slant route caught by Packer for the first down and more. All the way down to the 11-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10 for Rigby.
Packer. Rigby first down.
Well, you can kind of see why they haven't had to worry about running it too much. They really can just, Rigby Trojans can just kind of swing it to either side. They've got just a bunch of hands.
So a gain of 16 on that pass to Packer. 1st and 10 now with the ball at the Highland 12. Flowers under center, an impressive drive by this Rigby offense. Handoff to Klinger up the middle. Bangs his way down around the 5.
Carried by Klinger.
And Rigby looking to kind of push the pace here a little bit.
And George.
Out of the pistol, hard counted Highland jump. I think so. We'll see what the call is here.
Offsides penalty against the Rams.
Offsides against the Rams. So almost a first down, but not quite. Just about a yard short.
Second down.
Second about 1.
So 2nd and 1 now for Rigby because it was 2nd and 6. 3:29 to play in our opening quarter of action. We are tied at 7-all here between Rigby and Highland. The two powers, not just in District 5-6, but in 5A football, right? A rematch of last year's championship battle.
Yeah, you're 1 and 2 until you're not.
2nd and 1 from the 4. Handoff is to Klinger. He's brought down at the 5, loses a yard. And both Klinger and Flowers on the keeper both got driven into the grass. That's just good fundamental tackling, right?
Yeah, just kind of how Rigby runs the ball. They just really kind of make it hard to tell who's going to get it, and the Highland guys stayed true and went after their assignments.
Trying to find a way to produce the production of Zeke Falavai, who was such an underrated running back for Rigby the last 2 years. 3rd and 2 up the middle, short of the end zone, but should be enough for the first down. Now they say he did get in. Crossing the plane from 5 yards out. That's a big league run there between the tackles, I believe, by Klinger.
Yeah, they were in the scrum and standing for what seemed like forever.
So Klinger with a 5-yard touchdown run, and yeah, I thought he was down, and then all of a sudden he wasn't. Our side judge threw up the hands and said touchdown. So Rigby on for the point after try again. Witherspoon kick is through. And so 2:30 to play here before the end of the first quarter, and our score, Rigby 14, Highland 7. We'll be back right after this. It's Gate City Game Night on IdahoSports.com.
Your home team, when local matters. Valley Office Systems, your local provider for all things office. Copiers, printers, office furniture, and document management. Proudly serving Idaho since 1974. Valley Office Systems.
Welcome back to Gate City Game Night on IdahoSports.com. Presented in part by Valley Office Systems. Valley Office Systems in Rico are your local hometown office solutions team, delivering the level of service that you expect because they're a service company above all else. Valley Office Systems in Rico want to wish all the Gate City teams best of luck. We've got Gate City Game Night across town, well, more like across the interstate, out at Century tonight as the Diamondbacks are taking on the Preston Indians in a important District 5 battle at the 4A ranks.
Conference game, opening their conference games. They only have 2 each.
That's right. Small districts for 4A, 5A, right? 3 teams in 4A, only 4 teams in the 5A ranks. Here is the kickoff. It will be returned, getting to the edge and brought down at the 19-yard line. Highland out on the return. Great tackle downfield by Sam Gamino, the guy we were just talking about that transferred from Idaho Falls High School. So Gamino makes the special teams tackle. It'll be 1st and 10 Highland. Ball at their own 20-yard line. So can Highland respond? They were down 7-0 following the blocked punt for a touchdown. Put together a nice drive where, Hymus did score on the 40-yard run, but he completed some big passes over the middle on that last drive as well.
Yeah, a couple of really good passes, which I haven't seen a ton of this year, so it was nice to see that kind of open up the field for him.
They will start with Kai Callan.
Kai Callan on the end around.
Little reverse play, and Callan will take it out to the 31-yard line for a first down and a gain of 11.
And Kai Callan didn't play last week, so that's a great pickup for the Rams to have him back. He's good on the defensive side and the offensive side of the ball. Especially with him playing defensive back, Kai Callan, there's a lot of offensive players for Rigby to cover.
Pass attempt in the flat
Pass complete.
On the short side is caught by Colt Durham, and Durham had nowhere to go. Rigby defense was there immediately. Ends up picking up 4, we'll call it.
35.
So Durham's second grab of the night. He's the clubhouse leader, 2 catches for 14 yards. Hymus is 4 for 4 passing, if I'm not mistaken, right? Is he 3 for 4? 3 for 3. Okay. 4 for 4. See, I am right. Again, it's hard being right all the time, but 2nd and 6 over the middle, wide open. Cut for the first down and more. Out across the Rigby 45-yard line. That's the tight end, Kai Reno.
For a Highland Ram, first down.
So Reno out to the 37-yard line, a gain of 10.
And, you know, we talked about Highland having some issues on the offensive side of the ball, but tonight they look like a whole different team than what I've seen in the past. They've got a lot of different options with the run, and the pass is looking far better than it has earlier in the season.
This is a Highland team that I think once they figured out the running game, that makes the passing game that much more effective, right?
I would agree, yeah. They seem much more settled in what they're doing.
Callan in motion. They'll fake to him. They'll go up the middle with Drew Hymus, and Hymus will take it out to the Rigby 45-yard line for a gain of 8. It'll be 2nd down and a short 2.
And that's kind of that's where they're dangerous, right? If the pass is going, that run-pass option with Hymus it's very hard to defend.
Final 10 seconds of the opening quarter of action. I think Highland will just take it to the second. So through 1, Rigby leads Highland 14-7, but the Rams are on the move. We'll flip the field and come back for the second quarter right after this break. You're watching Gate City Game Night, presented by Lookout Credit Union on IdahoSports.com.
Your home team, when local matters. Valley Office Systems, your local provider for all things office. Copiers, printers, office furniture, and document management. Proudly serving Idaho since 1974. Valley Office Systems.
Welcome back to Gate City Game Night, IdahoSports.com. I'm Brandon Baney. He's Sean Kane. 14-7, Rigby with the lead as we start the second quarter of action. But Highland has the ball, 2nd and 2 at the Rigby 45-yard line. This is enough yardage for the first down. Cade Jones with the carry for the first time tonight. And Jones slips ahead for a gain of 8. So Highland came into the season with designs of having Jackson Riddle be their starting running back. That lasted for all of 1 game. He missed the first 2 games of the year with an injury, a collarbone injury. Came back and rushed for 110 yards in a win over Pocatello in the Black and Blue Bowl, and then re-injured that same collarbone, so he's out for the season. So it's kind of been a running back by committee for Highland. They've borrowed a couple of defensive players, and so, Mason Fulmer is the starting running back, but he's so important on defense as an all-state linebacker that they have to manage his workload, and that's where you see, a guy like Cade Jones come in and spell him. Fulmer took that last carry for a gain of 5. And you were saying before the game tonight, Sean, that when Fulmer was a freshman, he played running back, and then there was kind of a battle between the offensive and defensive coaching staffs as Fulmer entered his sophomore year.
Yeah, Nick Sorrell really wanted Mason to play linebacker, and I believe Mason did too, and there was always that kind of argument, what should he play, but now they want him to come back, and Nick Sorrell is now that he was the defensive coach then, and now he's the head coach, and it's kind of funny how those things come around. Now that he's having to come back and carry the ball for him, but he's a great player on both sides of the ball, and that's what you got to like about Highland. Everyone's willing to go in and do what they need to win a game.
Definitely. That last pass was complete to Ridge Barella. He kind of army crawled his way for a gain of 1. It's 3rd and 4 now for the Rams. It's a counter play off the left side for Mason Fulmer. He's got the first down, lowering the shoulder inside the 20, down to the Rigby 17 and a first down.
Number 12, Gunnar Wilhelm.
Oh, that was actually Wilhelm on the carry. Okay, so Gunnar Wilhelm, another defensive guy that Highland's borrowing. So Wilhelm gets the carry that time. And he takes it for a gain of 16 and a first down.
They're just going to grab everyone in there. You run it.
And I think Wilhelm had that first carry as well for 8 yards. So Wilhelm, 2 carries for 24 yards, unofficially, of course. Sweet play right side. Hymas, flag comes out. Hymas takes it to the 15, but we'll see what the call is here. They're already indicating a hold on Highland, so they'll move it back.
Be a hold on Highland. That'll be 10 yards from the spot of the flag.
So they'll move it on back here. But yeah, you talked about Nick Sorrell, longtime assistant coach, now the head coach. And, Gino Mariani, the former Highland coach, kind of just abruptly resigned in June. It's pretty late in the year in terms of a coaching change. And Coach Sorrell said, there was an adjustment period for sure. He said, I'd been an assistant coach for so long that we're doing a lot of the same things. But at the same time, as a head coach, you want to put your own stamp on things. And, I think now that we're in the final 3 weeks of the regular season, you can see it all coming together for this Highland team.
Yeah, on both sides of the ball. I mean, the defense, I think, has been there all year, but the offense is really coming together. And, that's what it takes to be a head coach.
1st and 24. Hymas over the middle, nearly intercepted, but dropped at the 25-yard line.
Incomplete.
Oh, baby, nearly a pick. And the Rigby player injured at the end of the play as well. Hope he's all right. I'm trying to see who that was. Could be Zabe Falavai, only because I don't see Zabe standing up, and I know he is a great cover corner. So while they attend to the injured Rigby player, we will tell you that tonight's game is brought to you in part by Briggs Steel, leading manufacturer of many metal products. They are a family-owned business with 4 generations of experience in the metal industry. They specialize in steel roofing, steel siding, metal siding, and trim. Briggs Steel stocks most colors and accessories for any steel roofing, metal roofing, or steel siding, metal siding project. They're locally owned and operated out of Rigby to serve you better. The team at Briggs Steel wants to wish the boys good luck in tonight's game. So I think that was Zabe Falavai who was able to get up off the field. I think the way he fell, maybe just got the wind knocked out of him for a second.
Yeah, he laid out for that one. He gave everything he had.
So following the incomplete pass, the first of the night for Drew Hymas, it is 2nd down and 24. Ball back at the Rigby 30-yard line, low snap. It's got to be picked up and fallen on back at the 42-yard line by Hymas. A low snap that never got in the air, and so now with 9:02 to play before halftime, it is going to be 3rd down and forever for Highland.
Yeah, that holding penalty is coming back to bite him, and now it's...
That'll bring 3rd down.
Wow, Highland is pushed back very far.
Yeah, so that was...
3rd and 35.
That was a loss of 6 yards on that low... Actually, a loss of 11 yards, on that low snap back to Hymas. So, yeah, 3rd and 35-ish. 8.5 to play here before halftime. Hymas from the 50 takes a home run shot. Just beyond the outstretched fingertips of Barella. Incomplete 4th down.
Intended for Barella.
Great pass, though.
Yeah, it was on target. He had it. Had a chance. Just couldn't quite come down with it. But that penalty and that messed up snap is now they're probably going to have to punt from here, I think.
I think so. And, Highland's opening drive of the night tonight, Sean, right? They had a key penalty and a sack, and next thing you know, they were punting from their own end zone. That's when Rigby blocked the punt, and Jack Boudreiro scooped it up and scored. So a couple of Highland drives bogged down tonight. This will be a directional punt that will ultimately go into the end zone for a touchback. Drew Hymas, the punter there for Highland, and so it'll be 1st and 10 for Rigby starting at their own 20-yard line. Tonight's game on IdahoSports.com, brought to you in part by Valley Office Systems. Valley Office Systems and Rico are your local hometown office solutions team, delivering the level of service that you expect because they're a service company above all else. Valley Office Systems and Rico want to wish all the Gate City teams best of luck. So 1st and 10 for Rigby from their own 20-yard line. They've only had one offensive possession so far tonight, Sean, and we're at 8:12 to play before halftime.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Highland, I guess you're glad you limited their possession of the ball on the offensive side.
At the same time, though, you allowed a special teams touchdown.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason why it's only the second drive of the night for Rigby. Gamino with the carry.
By 51.
Gets right back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. This is a Rigby team that had sights on, they've won 2 of the last 3 5A state championships and really could have won 3 in a row. The one they lost to Rocky Mountain was only by a 17-14 score, and they had 4 key turnovers that day. In a game that Rigby fans will tell you that, we had it if we could just take care of the football. So, you're looking at a possible 3-peat team here. And they had designs as Gamino takes that for a gain of 5. It's 3rd and 5 now. This is a Rigby team that fully intends to be back in the 5A championship, and they scheduled that way, playing Coeur d'Alene and Skyview High from Utah, which is a perennial power. Their lone loss this year came to the Cavemen of American Fork, Utah. They only lost that game 13-7, and again, it was a couple of key interceptions thrown by Luke Flowers that cost Rigby that game. Flowers right on point, this time to Brady Packer for a gain of 8 and a first down.
First down, Rigby.
But, what Armando Gonzalez has been able to do with this Rigby program has been pretty impressive. Rigby had never won any football championships in its school history until Coach Gonzalez got here, and now they've won 2 of the last 3.
And just to be able to reload with all these different skilled players to be at this level is amazing, too.
Toss play to Gamino, and Gamino will get a couple. So, yeah, we talked about, Tiger Adolfo, Zeke Falavai, Taylor Freeman, Con Dancy, the tight end. He was a personal favorite of yours, Sean. I know he would truck people, right? He'd make a catch and just boom, plow people. But they're all gone, right? So it's a new group of Rigby Trojans, and it's like
they had a pretty good kicker too.
Yeah, they had a great kicker last year, certainly. Gain of 1 for Gamino on that last carry. It's 2nd and 9 for Rigby. 6:10 to play before halftime. Flowers winds up and completes. That's Benedict with the catch. Only gets a couple. Highland did a pretty good job of keeping Benedict in front of him. It'll be 3rd and long for Rigby.
Gunnar Wilhelm.
Yeah, I think it's a Benedict Arnold when they get behind.
Stop short. It'll be 3rd down and 5.
Benedict gets 3 on the reception there. It'll be 3rd down and 5. I'll actually call it 4.
Get the defense going. 3rd down and 5.
5:40 to play here before halftime. A pivotal 3rd down in the contest with Rigby leading 14-7. 3rd and 5 from their own 39-yard line. Trojans send Packer in motion. Now it's trips to the bottom of your screen. Rolling out. Flowers stands, delivers. It is caught at the 47-yard line by Brady Packer. Kai Callan was right there with the coverage, but Packer's able to make the grab for the first down. That was actually Cade Steffler on the reception, beg your pardon. So Steffler makes the grab. Number 14 for Rigby. I get 14 and 12 mixed up. Packers 12. I did that in the first game of the year. I gave the wrong touchdown to the wrong guy.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I had to apologize to Cade Steffler's family because I said Packer caught it instead of Steffler. They're both, pretty similar builds. Really both outstanding receivers. One of the rare times I was wrong. This is a double toss. Back to Flowers. Has a man at Steffler. It is caught and taken into the end zone for a 48-yard touchdown. Rigby will get flagged for the excessive celebration, but they don't care as Steffler is on the end of a 52-yard bomb from Luke Flowers.
After the run.
That was 2 different handoffs, right?
Yes, a double handoff toss back to Flowers and a 52-yard touchdown to Cade Steffler.
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike penalty on Rigby. It'll be done on the kickoff.
So 52-yard bomb from Flowers, and that's Rigby. will pound you with the run, Then they'll go up top for a home run ball, and that's exactly what the Trojans do there with 5:11 to play here before halftime. Kick by Witherspoon is through. 21-7, Rigby on the 52-yard touchdown to Cade Steffler. And we'll be back with more Gate City Game Night right after this on IdahoSports.com.
So, what do you like about Lookout Rewards Plus checking? And loan discounts, a value of about $1,100 per year.
Welcome back to Iron Horse Stadium, campus of Highland High School in Pocatello. Gate City Game Night presented by Lookout Credit Union on IdahoSports.com. 21-7. Rigby extends the lead on the 52-yard touchdown pass from Luke Flowers to Cade Steffler, and calling it a 52-yard touchdown pass doesn't really do justice, right? It started as a wide receiver toss play, then it was a reverse, and as the second receiver was reversing back, he tossed it back on like a flea flicker type play to Flowers, and he hit the home run.
It was a lot for me to try to capture, you know what I'm saying? There was a lot going on.
So Rigby will kick off here. The excessive celebration penalty means that Highland will have a great chance at the return out to the 35 and the 40, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Rams. Now this is an important possession for Highland, Sean. There's 5:06 to play before halftime. Highland is down 21-7, and oh yeah, by the way, they're kicking off to start the second half. So, I mean, this is almost a must-score possession, right?
I mean, the way things are going, yeah, I think so. And you know, their last drive, they had some good passes. They had some great running from Fulmer, and they got down in the neck of the woods there, and just penalty and a bad snap sent them all the way back. So I think just to kind of get the confidence and momentum going, this is a pretty big drive for the Highland Rams.
1st and 10 for the Rams from their own 40-yard line. Hymas with a man in motion will fake and give instead up the middle. Gain of 4 on the carry. And that is Mason Fulmer.
And Highland's done a really good job at running the ball tonight. And then been able to pass. So they've kind of had the formula. They just haven't been able to get the points.
Well, I mean, and we've talked about it. A couple of their drives have been stalled out by penalties and/or set. Really, Rigby the one sacked tonight by Sam Webster, and Highland had 2 players ready to run on the field, and somebody lost a glove or a shoe or something as well. There's all sorts of stuff going on for Highland. 2nd and 6. And now the play blown dead after all that. Oh, an encroachment against Rigby. Highland says we'll take it. Now Kai Callan will check back in and pick up that glove. And
you don't want to leave anything on the field. You know, I saw in an NFL game someone left a towel, and they got a penalty for that. So.
Oh, I thought you were talking like coach speak, like, leave it all out on the field. Everything, including your equipment.
If you don't come back with missing something, you didn't play hard enough.
Somebody got penalized for, you mean their towel on the field?
Yeah, it was the Bears-49ers game, and the Bears, the long snap, or the holder left the towel, and I guess you can't do that.
Are you sure you didn't get penalized for voluntarily being a member of the Chicago Bears?
Oh, wow.
2nd and 2, pass complete over the middle. Of course, Sean's a Bears fan. I'm a Green Bay Packers fan, so I don't know how we get together every week and call a game. It's really cut the tension with a knife.
I mean, you got $100 million more reasons to be excited.
For sure. That pass complete that time by Hymas to, I believe it was Colt Durham who made that reception. Gains 5 and a 1st down. 1st and 10 with 3.5 to play before halftime. Here's Mason Fulmer out to the 36. Gain of 12 and a 1st down.
And man, you can see why the coaches are fighting over where they want Fulmer. He's a good runner as well as a linebacker.
Fulmer's freshman year, he was a late season call-up to the varsity because the freshman season had concluded. And then Caleb DeMuzio, the starting running back, got hurt right as the playoffs started. And so Fulmer, this freshman, ends up starting 2 playoff games. Highland went on the road and upset the #1 team, Bora, when they had Austin Bolt, the Gatorade Player of the Year. And so you thought, okay, big things coming for this Highland, running back, and all of a sudden, well, he's on defense, but he's still an all-state caliber player. Gunnar Wilhelm on that last carry takes it for 7. It'll be 2nd and 3.
Brings up 2nd down and 4.
2:40 to play here before halftime. 21-7, Rigby with the lead. Highland just trying to answer before the halftime gun. 2nd and 3, Hymas flushed out, now has time on the run. Will just take off and run for the first down. Hymas had all day and half the night to throw and finally says, you know what, I'm just going to do what I do best and take off and run.
Get that first down, move the sticks, and get Highland a little closer to scoring position.
So Hymas is able to scramble for 6 out to the 28-yard line.
It'll be 3rd down and 1.
And, they'll say he stepped out back at the 27. Actually, the 28. I thought he got to the 26, but they say he stepped out at the 28, so it's 3rd and 1 for Highland. He did get out of bounds to stop the clock. There's 2:26 to play here before halftime. A 21-7 Rigby lead. 3rd and 1, it's Fulmer, first down, out to the 25.
Fulmer down to the 25.
So Fulmer gets 3, and the Rams get the first down. And this is what Highland does. Nothing fancy, right? We're just going to line up and do what we do and bank on doing it better than you.
Yeah, run the ball and just kind of control the line there. But eventually they're going to have to probably take some shots at the end zone here.
Yeah, we're down to 2:10 to play before halftime. Highland does have all 3 of its timeouts remaining. Ball at the 25. Split backs this time. Wing back in the backfield as well. Penalty flag comes out. This one will be coming back. Not all the backs were set. Fulmer with the carry. A little pushing on the pile.
Carry by Fulmer.
Yeah, false start.
Penalty against the Rams.
Yeah, all those backs that were in the backfield weren't all set, I think, when the ball got snapped. So
again, Highland kind of gets down in Rigby's neck of the woods, and a penalty comes up. And
that 5-yard penalty will make it 1st and 15 for the Rams.
So 1st and 15 for Highland now. Ball back at their 30, at the 30-yard line of Rigby. We're down to 1:41 to play here before halftime. Hymas with the rush over the middle, and the ball is knocked out. They'll say incomplete pass. Rigby wanted the fumble recovery, but an incomplete pass ultimately is the call. Tried to go to Reno that time over the middle. Made the grab, and then it was knocked out.
Brings up 2nd down.
So Drew Hymas started the game tonight, 6 of 6 passing. He's just one of his last 3 with 1:33 to play here before halftime. Second and 15. 21-7 Rigby, and this is an important drive for Highland because they will kick off to start the second half. 5 wide now for the Rams. Hymas throws the screen. It's caught by Rich Barella. Wide receiver pass. Has a man. It's caught. Kai Cowan. Touchdown Highland. Rich Barella throws a 30-yard touchdown pass to Kai Callan. And Highland says, we can run a trick play too.
That was all set up kind of late. They sent the running back over to have 5 wide on that side, and a little crafty play for Highland.
And that is the spark that Highland needed, right on a must-score possession. Point after is through by Zarek Eunice. Eunice kicked the first one as well. I incorrectly said it was James Francis. So Eunice with the kick, and it's 21-14 now. Highland back within 7, but 1:27 to go before halftime, Sean. Rigby's got 2 timeouts remaining. That's an eternity for this Trojans offense.
Yeah, the way Rigby's been able to throw the ball and pick up big chunks in a quick amount of time, I'm sure that Armando Gonzalez has got a minute 40, minute 35 drill queued up.
This person needs to start making their way down to the
We'll wait and see
north end zone.
if the Highland defense can get a stop here before
The winner
halftime.
is Cooper Colonel.
Friendly reminder at halftime, we'll bring you the halftime stats, of course. We'll take a
I'm
look
not
at
sure if
the
you still wanna
Friday
do
Night
it,
Flash,
or
our
if you
interactive
expect
in
someone
real
else to do it
time
for him.
updating scoreboard across the state, and we'll also bring you kind of a new feature we're doing this year at halftime at the Gate City Game Night at the Pocatello School District Schools. The punt, pass, and kick competition, sponsored by IdahoSports.com. Nobody's won yet, Sean, but $200 on the line for whoever can successfully navigate all of that. Kickoff through the back of the end zone for a touchback. It'll be 1st and 10 for Rigby from their own 20.
Yeah, Brandon was pretty nervous last week at Pocatello versus Shelley. The person who was competing in the halftime game was very close.
We've done 2 Gate City game nights, Sean. We had the first one, kind of an older gentleman that was barefoot and couldn't have been further away from winning.
Yes.
And then we had a young buck last week that came really close. So we've been.
He probably had a 40-yard punt.
Yeah, he had a great punt to start.
I think they put a jersey on him in the second half. I don't know.
Right? 1st and 10. And what a game we had last week, Sean, where Shelley scored on a QB sneak with 5 seconds to play, and Kai Callan with the textbook DB swat.
Second down, Rigby.
Incomplete second down.
The Kimby Mutombo there.
That is like textbook. Like when you used to play Madden, and if you hit the certain button, the guy would reach in and knock it away. I think it was L2, but that was, I mean, we talked a lot about these offensive players, but really when you look at, cover corners, Kai Callan for Highland, Zabe Falavai for Rigby, 2 of the best in the state.
Definitely, and they've both been making plays all night already.
21-14 Rigby lead, 1:23 to play before halftime, 2nd and 10 from the 20. Flowers under center this time. And timeout taken by Rigby. Wow, okay. They had the clock had stopped on the incomplete pass, and they end up still having to burn a timeout anyway. So now they only have 1 timeout left to work with.
Yeah, I mean, and Highland still has all 3 of theirs. So, Highland would love to get the ball back here before halftime and maybe, look at a field goal or anything just to get some points because, like we said, Rigby's going to get the ball to start the second half.
So if you're Rigby coach Armando Gonzalez, what are you drawing up here?
Well, they've been passing the ball, pretty well, but the problem with passing the ball is it stops the clock a lot, and could leave up a lot of time. It might be time just to run a few plays out and see what you get. And what's open a lot of times is the middle of the field, and you could do a draw play to your running back, and he might have a lot of room.
Good time for the draw. Certainly, Rigby tonight has only run the ball for 14 yards. Been a pretty stingy Highland effort defensively. Of course, Rigby has scored a couple of touchdowns, and one of them on the big 52-yard pass. Second and 10, Flowers taking a deep shot, has a man, it's Steffler again, caught at the Highland 44-yard line for a first down.
Now complete to Brady Packer.
That is a 45-yard completion from Flowers to Steffler. Just how they drew it up, and Rigby will hurry in the line, 1:10 to play before the half. 1st and 10 from the Highland 35-yard line, middle screen is caught. That is Klinger, and Klinger will take it to the 30 for a gain of 5.
Screen pass complete.
So Klinger on the reception. Gets 5. Clock continues to roll, so Rigby going to hurry to the line again here. 2nd and 5. 48 seconds to play before the half. Flowers has time, throwing to the end zone, just beyond the outstretched fingertips of Steffler. Actually, a Brady Packer, and a penalty flag comes out. It'll be pass interference on Highland.
The flag on the play.
What do you think, Sean?
Yeah, if it's
pass
interference on Highland, that was awful close. It felt like they both dived at the ball at the same time.
That will be spotted
Tough there.
15-yard line.
Of course, it's the farthest away from us too, right?
So following that penalty, Rigby gets the ball at the Highland 15-yard line. First and 10 for the Trojans. Flowers on the rollout to the end zone, incomplete. Callan with the coverage.
Incomplete.
Intended receiver that time for Rigby was Cohen Peck. 38 seconds to play before halftime. It's 2nd and 10 now for the Trojans. Ball at the Highland 15. Flowers out of the pistol here. Now sends the back Klinger in motion. They'll throw the slant route. Incomplete pass intended for Packer. Penalty flag comes out as well. See what the call is here. This came out as they were throwing the slant route, so I'm curious to see what the call is. We're all going to get together and talk about it here.
One thing I've noticed, though, tonight is Rigby's offensive line has just been incredibly solid. Flowers has all kinds of time to throw the ball, and they're able to get, 5 receivers out. So kudos to the offensive line of Rigby.
Ineligible receiver downfield. That means one of the O-linemen got downfield before the pass was thrown. So now it's 3rd and 15 for Rigby. Ball back at the Highland 20. And 34 seconds to play before halftime. Second and 15. Flowers, play action. Plenty of time, like a statue, throws to the end zone, double coverage, incomplete. You mentioned this, Sean. I mean, think about what Highland's doing on the back end of that defense, where has Flowers even been touched tonight when he drops back to pass? I mean, it's been the cleanest pocket you'll ever see. And yet, we just saw right there, Highland had double cover. Flowers, it's almost like he had too much time and wasn't sure where to go with the ball. So that back end of the Highland defense has done phenomenal tonight.
Yeah, the secondary has for the most part not been able they've been able to stop him at some points, but Rigby has also been able to get those passes in on those big bombs.
3rd and 15, 27 seconds to play. Flowers to the end zone, caught for the Rigby touchdown. Fighting through traffic and making the grab. That is, I believe, Steffler, who made the touchdown reception from 20 yards out. So 20-yard touchdown pass to Cade Steffler, his 2nd touchdown of the night. And Rigby back in front by a 2-score advantage with just 22 seconds to play before halftime. What a way to respond by the Trojans. Witherspoon kick is through.
Yeah, I mean, Rigby could have just kind of ran the ball out, ran the clock out, and went into halftime, but marched it down with about 1:30 and got another score. So,
and now, with Rigby getting the ball to start the second half as well, you feel like if Rigby scores there, up 3 scores, It's going to be a tall order for Highland to get back in. I will say the one thing for Highland is they've kind of got an ace in the return game. Kai Callan has taken a kickoff back for a touchdown this year, so Rigby still has to be careful here with 22 seconds to play before the half.
Yeah, that would be very helpful for Highland if they could figure out how to get one in right now. But the Highland offense has been doing pretty well. But, yeah, like you said, if they go down 3 scores at the start of the third quarter, could be just a little too much.
And, as I say that, Kai Callan's not even back to return the kick. So.
Well.
Ridge Barella back deep for Highland.
He has the speed to take one back for sure.
Yes, he does. Witherspoon will kick off here for the Trojans. 22 seconds to play before halftime and a 28-14 Rigby lead. Line drive kick. Will take a bounce off the Highland up man, picked up at the 18-yard line and brought down right at the 20. If you're Rigby, that's exactly what you wanted.
Yeah, when you do that line drive kick, that's, I think, what you envision happening, and it came to fruition there.
Chance Isom on the special teams tackle for Rigby. Highland 1st and 10, 18 seconds to play before halftime, down 28-14. Probably just run the ball here, right, and run the clock to get to halftime. And if you get big yardage, then maybe you think about using one of those timeouts.
Yeah, you want to be careful here, too. You don't want anything to go wrong this close to your own end zone.
Hymas back to pass, will throw to the far side, through the fingertips, incomplete. 2nd and 10.
Flag on the play.
Flag came out as well. All the way back to where Hymas was throwing the ball, so this will be an interesting call. Personal foul against Rigby, roughing the passer. Wow, so a huge penalty against the Trojan defense. That'll be 15 yards and a Highland first down. Up to the 36-yard line now with 14 seconds to play before the half.
Now, if you're Highland, you've got a few more options and some timeouts.
The question is, can that Highland offensive line protect against a Rigby pass rush that's going to be
coming in hot?
That's right. 1st and 10 from their own 36. Hymas has time, now steps up. Feeling the heat from the backside, throws across his body, somehow caught with just 5 seconds to play before halftime. That's Cade Jones on the reception. Highland did take the timeout with 5 seconds to play before halftime. It is an 8-yard completion from Hymas to Jones. And
risky kind of going across the field there.
Across the body like a pop fly, but hey, nobody was there except Jones, so he makes the grab. And so now 5 seconds left before halftime, Sean. Highland will have the ball at their own 44. So 2 schools of thought here. You try the Hail Mary or you try the trick play. And Highland already ran 1 trick play tonight. What do you think happens here?
Yeah, I mean, the way the Rigby defense is getting, the pressure, I think it's going to be hard to really throw a Hail Mary at this part. So probably going to have more of a designed maybe like hook and ladder or something, maybe go short and try to go back and run it across the other side of the field. I don't know. Not a lot of 5-second touchdown plays from the other side of the field.
2nd and 2 for the Rams. That's kind of inconsequential, though. 5 seconds to go before halftime. This will more than likely be the final play of the half. Hymas flushed out, will throw it away. And we'll throw an odd out to halftime with the Rigby Trojans in front by 2 scores, 28-14. And the Trojans will also receive the second half kickoff. So a prime opportunity for Rigby as the third quarter unfolds as well. But first, we've got halftime. We'll take a break and come back with the halftime show right after this. You're watching Gate City Game Night, presented by Lookout Credit Union on IdahoSports.com.
When local matters, Valley Office Systems, your local provider for all things office. Copiers, printers, office furniture, and document management. Proudly serving Idaho since 1974. Valley Office Systems.
Some days, I choose the most difficult trail. I test my limits.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy, but I know it's the right way.
When I get done with my ride and I look back at what I've just accomplished, I feel amazing.
It takes courage and determination to do hard things.
But you can do them.
Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
You can't make summer stand still, so make the most of every last second with a new Toyota at Toyota's National Sales Event.
During Toyota's National Sales Event, discover our wide variety of fuel-efficient electrified vehicles. Toyota, let's go places.
We're a valley-wide country store. For 100 years, we've been your #1 choice for food, fuel, farm supplies, and just about everything else you could need to get you through your day. We know you work until the job is done, and so do we. For gas on the go, or a little extra to help you get down the road, you can count on us. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're here for you.
Vaping sucks you in quick, and the more you vape, the harder it is to quit. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems. That's why thousands of teens are joining My Life, My Quit. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
All right, I put this on one check. Is that okay? Draw?
That was fast and secure. It's mobile wallet from Lookout Credit Union.
Your home team, when local matters. Valley Office Systems, your local provider for all things office. Copiers, printers, office furniture, and document management. Proudly serving Idaho since 1974. Valley Office Systems.
It is halftime here at Iron Horse Stadium. Gate City Game Night presented by Lookout Credit Union on IdahoSports.com. Brandon Bainey alongside Sean Kane. And at the halftime break, the Rigby Trojans, this is a rematch of the 5A state championship game from a year ago. And like the last four matchups have gone between these two rivals, it is the Rigby Trojans in front of Highland 28-14 at the half. When you look at the yardage, Sean, and again, these are unofficial totals here at halftime, but the two sides couldn't be more even. Highland in the first half, 201 yards of total offense. Now, 115 of that came on the ground, 86 yards through the air. So 201 yards for Highland. Rigby total offense in the first half was 207. So Rigby's only had 6 more yards of offense than Highland, and yet they're up 2 scores. Now, Rigby's has come mostly through the air. 193 passing yards, 14 rushing yards. So I guess the question, Sean, this is why you get paid the big bucks to sit in the analyst chair, is if the yardage is even, why is Rigby up 2 scores?
Well, a big part of it was that Rigby blocked Highland's punt and ran it in for a touchdown. I think at the start of the game, that was a big game changer for the Rigby Trojans. And, why is the score this way? Well, Highland hasn't been able to come away with some points at a couple times. And I noticed throughout the game, Highland's kind of picked up a lot of penalties when they've gotten close. They've had some pretty big, crucial penalties that have held them back from some scoring opportunities. And Highland just quite hasn't found the answer to stop all the offensive weapons on the passing game for the Trojans.
Yeah, you mentioned it. First drive of the game for Highland, there was a sack by Sam Webster and a penalty, and Highland had to punt from their own end zone. It was blocked. Jack Boudrero scooped it up and scored from about 10 yards out, and Rigby was up 7-0 without even touching the ball. Rigby has also scored tonight on a 5-yard touchdown run by Peyton Klinger, a 52-yard touchdown pass from Luke Flowers to Cade Steffler on kind of a double reverse flea flicker. And then the 20-yard touchdown pass from Flowers to Steffler with just 22 seconds to go before halftime. So really the first drive for Highland and that last drive for Rigby has led to 14 points, and that's the 14-point advantage that Rigby is enjoying at halftime. For Highland, their scores came on a 40-yard touchdown run by Drew Hymas and a 30-yard touchdown pass on a wide receiver pass from Ridge Barella to Kai Callan on the trick play. So let's take a look at the stats here at halftime. And again, these are unofficial, but for Highland, 201 yards of offense, 115 on the ground, 86 through the air. Leading rusher, Drew Hymas, 6 carries for 39 yards and a touchdown. And you're saying, wait, 39 yards rushing, but he had a 40-yard touchdown run. How does that work? Well, he's been sacked, and there was also a low snap that he had to go track down and fall on for a loss of about 11. So there's been some negative yardage plays in there. So Hymas, though, 6 carries, 39 yards and a touchdown. And it's pretty balanced, Sean, after that. Mason Fulmer, 5 carries for 34 yards. Gunnar Wilhelm, 3 carries for 31 yards. So Hymas, 39, Fulmer, 34, Wilhelm, 31. Combined, that's right at 100 yards.
So, yeah, just, by committee, they've kind of had a good running back, right? All the different pieces have come together and to get the 100 yards. And, Highland's been able to run the ball really well and effectively throughout the first half.
Kai Callan also has 1 carry for 11 yards for Highland tonight. Drew Hymas, 9 of 11 passing for 56 yards. And then Ridge Barella, 1 of 1, 30 yards and a touchdown. I think that's a perfect passer rating of 156.8 or whatever it is. So Ridge Barella, 1 of 1, 30 yards and the touchdown. Kai Callan leads the way. He was on the receiving end of that Barella touchdown. 1 catch for 30 yards and the score. After that, it's Colt Durham, 3 catches for 19 yards. Ridge Barella has 2 catches for 14 yards. It is Kai Reno, 1 catch for 10 yards. Cade Jones, 1 catch for 8 yards. And Mason Fulmer has 1 grab for 5 yards. And now for the Trojans of Rigby, 14 yards on the ground, 193 through the air. Leading rusher in the first half was Brady Packer, 1 carry for 6 yards. Sam Gamino has 3 carries for 6 yards. And Peyton Klinger, we call it the old Jerome Bettis stat line, 3 carries, 2 yards, and a touchdown. That's the old 3-2-1. He'll take it. Luke Flowers, what a first half. 10 of 13, 193 yards, 2 touchdowns through the air. And he's really done a nice job of spreading the ball around. Although Cade Steffler has emerged as the primary weapon. 4 catches, 122 yards, and 2 touchdown receptions. After that, it is Jace Benedict, 2 catches for 35 yards. Brady Packer has 3 grabs for 31 yards. And it's Peyton Klinger, 1 catch for 5 yards. And so Rigby leads 28-14 at the half. Friendly reminder, we've got this pretty cool thing called the Friday Night Flash, where former intern Keller updates scores throughout the state of Idaho in real time, and we'll take a look at the Friday Night Flash here in just a moment. But first, Sean, we're going to bring you our punt, pass, and kick competition.
You got 100 yards to go.
I found Troy Bell. Oh, there we go.
Yep. Troy Bell, the Highland athletic director, helping run the event. IdahoSports.com, ponying up $200 if this gentleman in the neon green shirt can punt, pass, and kick his way down the field. Here's his first punt. Angled towards the near sideline to the 34. Now he'll have a chance to throw one deep. This actually looks like a little kid maybe, yeah. It was the oversized T-shirt that threw me off. I thought it was somebody older. That's a pretty good throw, Sean, out to the 30, and now he's going to try a 57-yard field goal here for $200.
$200 kick right here.
Let's see if he can. This would be pretty incredible, Sean. Here's the attempt. Oh, he got a lot of air on it, not quite the distance. Got it to the end zone. Good effort, though.
IdahoSports.com for their fundraiser doing the halftime punt, pass, and kick.
And again, I'm able to escape with my wallet intact.
Well, another day.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, $200 on the line for the first person that can complete this. We haven't seen anybody do it yet here on IdahoSports.com. All right, Sean, let's take a look at the Friday Night Flash. What else is going on around the 5A? And while we do that, we'll put up our bubble watch. Again, this is something we did on the site this week where we kind of looked at, if the playoffs started today, who would be in, who would be out. I think Highland fans were probably shocked when they saw that Highland would be out of the playoffs on the bubble. But
some pretty good matchups, some big matchups. Eagle and Mountain View was one of them, and Eagle at halftime is ahead 21-19.
Wow.
And then the other big one that I thought was, one of the biggest 5A games besides ours tonight was Meridian versus Rocky Mountain, and Meridian's up 7-6 in the second. Middleton Capital 28-0. Nampa versus Sky.
And that was Middleton who was up 28-0?
Yes,
okay.
Middleton is up 28-0. Nampa 13, Skyview 14 in the second. Awahi 7 and Kuna 10 at halftime. And those are the 5A scores on the flash right now. We might as well throw out our other Gate City game night game, Century versus Preston. In the second quarter, Century is ahead 10-7.
Okay, very interesting. Yeah, those two District 3 matchups you talked about, so the SIC is so big that they had to split the 13-team league into two divisions, the Foothills Division and the River Division. And you've got essentially the division title games tonight where Meridian and Rocky Mountain are both 6-0 overall, 3-0 in the River Division, and then Mountain View and Eagle are both 6-0 and 3-0 in the Foothills Division. So the winners of those two games will more than likely meet up in 2 weeks for the SIC championship game.
Yeah, those are pretty big games, and they're both pretty close at halftime in the Eagle Mountain View, and probably pretty close to halftime in the Meridian Rocky Mountain, I would imagine, with the 7 o'clock start time. And then we also have Post Falls Lewiston, but no score there yet. So a lot of good games tonight around Idaho.
And not just 5A. You look 4A, 3A, 2A on down. There's a lot of top-heavy matchups around the state tonight. A lot of top 5 teams doing battle.
Yeah, and 4A, another game I thought was a big one was going to be the district championship would be Bishop Kelly versus Emmett, and in the second quarter, Bishop Kelly's up 22-6, kind of an odd score. And then in the Magic Valley, you have Burley Twin Falls, which that could end up being, maybe second place or first place, or more or less like a second place in that district, and Twin Falls is ahead 14-12 there. So
what's going on with our District 6? Rigby's from District 6. What are the other High Country Conference teams doing tonight? Are they in the 4A? We got Idaho Falls.
Oh, yeah.
Skyline and Blackfoot, I know, is a big game tonight.
We've got Hillcrest Bonneville in the first. Bonneville 7-0, and I don't see the other one. No score yet from Blackfoot Skyline, which that's a pretty big game for that conference tonight, for sure.
Well, yeah, we'll send out the bat signal, see if we can find a score there. Yeah, the Civil War between Bonneville and Hillcrest. East Idaho comes up with the best nicknames for the rivals.
Oh, I've got the score. At halftime, Blackfoot and Skyline are tied 14-14.
Wow, okay.
So that's going to be a barn burner.
Highland has played both Skyline and Blackfoot, and Rigby played Skyline earlier this year, if you do some score comparison, right? Rigby beats Blackfoot 28-24, Highland beat Blackfoot 34-28. So that's pretty even, right? And then they both played Skyline as well. Highland lost to Skyline 29-21. And last week, Rigby shut out Skyline 28-0. So
kind of, sometimes the numbers don't lie.
That's right. Well, the cannon went off, and both teams are back out on the field warming up, which means it's just about time for our second half to begin here at Iron Horse Stadium in Pocatello.
When joints begin to fail, it's more than an inconvenience. The relentless grinding pain.
There's the cannon again one last time. You know, or I guess they're fireworks, right? It's not a cannon, they're fireworks.
Yeah, I'm trying to, looked like we had some National Guard members, and then they just kind of went behind something, so I don't know if they're the ones doing it or not.
Yeah, I think they are. The cool part is always at the end of the game, right? Whatever inventory is left over, light it up, let's do it, boom, 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 boom. So here we go, 12 minutes on the clock for the third quarter. You know, I really used to love the 4th of July, but now as a dog owner, I own 2 dogs. It's like my least favorite holiday now because they get so nervous, and
yeah, it's
a whole
rough.
whole ordeal for sure. So Rigby will receive the ball to start this second half of action. It is Brady Packer back deep to return for the Trojans, along with, it looks like, Sam Gamino. Highland will be kicking off. And the third quarter is underway with Packer taking it into the end zone for a touchback.
Marks the touchback.
He tried to run out of it.
Sneaky.
It's 1st and 10 Rigby to start the second half.
Tried to sell it like that punt returner from Montana last week in the Bengals, the Idaho State game. Did you see that, Sean?
Yeah, I saw a clip of that. And
clearly muffed the punt and then said, "Oh no, I didn't touch it." clearly touched it. Anyways, that's college.
I always forget, though, too, in high school, that once it goes in the end zone, it's just a touchback no matter what. And
right.
So I'm always like, oh, why did they stop? You know, you got to make that transition to all the different games.
You know, speaking of Idaho State, we talked about on the East Idaho Prepcast this week, Sean, as Flowers gets ready on first down and completes over the middle for a gain of 9. Just shy of the first down marker is Steffler. We talked about how each of these programs have prominent players making a big impact at Idaho State, right? Ian Hershey from Highland, the kicker and punter for the Bengals, and then Christian Fredrickson, former Rigby Trojan, playing wide receiver and balling out. So it's good to see some East Idaho players having success at the collegiate level. 2nd and 1. Handoff up the middle to Gamino, and he'll have enough for the first down.
Carried by Sam Gamino.
We'll take it for 3.
So you kind of get the feeling like Highland's got to find a way to either get a stop here or get a turnover. They kind of got to make something happen and slow down the offense of the Trojans.
Fresh set of downs for Rigby. 1st and 10 with 11 minutes to play here in the third. Flowers out of the gun, will throw and complete to Jace Benedict, and then steer wrestled to the turf. I should say the grass. It's not turf here at Iron Horse Stadium. Colton George making the stop, and it's a gain of 1.
2nd down and 9.
But you know how nice the field looks with the numbers painted on and the big ram. It almost looks like turf. Like they've done such a nice job.
Yeah. It's an intimidating looking ram. It really is, that Highland logo.
You got the moon, you got the ram, it's Halloween, you know.
It's a blood ram. 2nd and 9. They fake the draw. Flowers now going to take off and run, and he'll run right into a wall of blood rams defensively.
Yeah, and this ram's pretty unique. You don't really see this particular ram with any other team, do you? Not that I can think of.
Bring up 3rd down.
Okay, so friend of the program, Greg Woods from the Idaho State Journal, in the box with us, and If you want a much more eloquent recap of how this game went, you should definitely read Greg's article in the paper tomorrow or online tonight. But he said that the Ram logo that Highland uses is the same one Fordham uses.
Oh, okay.
Fordham's got a very prominent journalism school, so a lot of future broadcasters there. Flowers taking a deep shot again. It's Packer to the 10, to the 5, to the house for the Rigby touchdown.
Number 12, Brady Packer for a Rigby touchdown.
Brady Packer takes it the distance. That is a 64-yard touchdown. Back after this on Gate City Game Night, IdahoSports.com.
All right, I put this on one check. Is that okay? Draw?
That was fast and secure. It's Mobile Wallet from Lookout Credit Union.
Welcome back to Iron Horse Stadium on IdahoSports.com. Gate City Game Night. 35-14. Rigby with the lead over Highland with 9:28 to play here in the third quarter. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by the Dacre Bernard Realty Group. They've helped thousands of families buy and sell real estate in Southeast Idaho with over 50 years combined experience. The Dacre Bernard Realty Group's whole team is dedicated to making your transaction an amazing experience. They believe in delivering exceptional personalized service, superior market expertise, and the highest quality of care for every single client. They care about you and the communities they live in. That's why they give back to a charity of your choice at closing. The Dacre Bernard Realty team wants to wish the Rigby boys good luck. Rigby has pretty much set up real estate in the end zone tonight, 35 points. Another excellent showing from the Trojan offense. This kickoff will go into the end zone for a touchback.
Ball bounces in the end zone. It'll be a touchback.
Tonight's game also brought to you by Briggs Steel, a leading manufacturer of many metal products. They're a family-owned business with 4 generations of experience in the metal industry. They specialize in steel roofing, steel siding, metal siding, and trim. Briggs Steel stocks most colors and accessories for any steel roofing, metal roofing, or steel siding, metal siding project. They're locally owned and operated out of Rigby to serve you better. The team at Briggs Steel wants to wish the boys good luck in tonight's game. Well, no luck needed, Sean. Rigby up 35-14. It's Highland that needs a little luck on their side.
Yeah, they're going to need to come up with some answers, some points here quickly.
1st and 10 for the Rams. They'll start with a run up the middle. A gain of 5. And on the carry for the Rams that time
Carried by number 13,
is
Kate Jones.
Kate Jones. So Jones goes for 5. 2nd and 5. 9:05 to play here in the third quarter. Second and 5, handoff again. Or actually, Hymas throws it to Barella. Complete for a Highland first down, gain of 10.
So again, Highland able to move the ball, getting some good runs, some good passes, and see, if they can cut into this lead here.
Well, and, Rigby's the team that's been hitting the home runs tonight here on the opening day of postseason baseball in the big leagues. Highland's been hitting a lot of singles and doubles, but they need to start hitting a few home runs to get back in it. Handoff left side this time. That's Mason Fulmer for a couple.
Carried by Mason Fulmer.
I had the baseball playoffs on in the background today, Sean, as I was at work, and some pretty good games. St. Louis Cardinals had an absolute meltdown. That was fun to watch.
2nd down and 7 for the Rams.
3-yard gain for Fulmer makes it 2nd and 7. I'm guessing you're a Cubs fan, Sean.
I'm a White Sox
fan.
fan.
White Sox, South side, okay. 2nd and 7. Handoff to Fulmer again. Fulmer spinning and will be a couple yards shy of the first down. It'll be 3rd and short, upcoming with 7.5 to play here in the third.
So I've got not really anything to look forward to baseball-wise. A lot of people are into the Mariners this year. I don't know if you noticed that. Yeah, they're pretty big. All the Mariner hats are coming out of the closet. I have some, tennis players that all of a sudden are Mariners fans. I was giving them a hard time.
3rd and 2. They'll fake to Fulmer. Hymas will keep it. I don't think he got there. That's a great tackle by Connor Knighting, the senior linebacker for Rigby. I think Hymas is going to be a yard shy, about a half a yard shy.
And Connor Knighting, someone we talked about in the pregame, and we really haven't heard his number that much, but he's a great linebacker and just showed us what he can do right there.
Yeah, Knighting and Hawks really are the guys for that Rigby linebacking core. And then, up front as well, another unheralded guy that doesn't get his due is Siope Fangupo, senior defensive tackle. He really holds down the point and causes chaos in the middle of that line. 4th and inches, Highland's got to go for it. Hand off to Fulmer, second effort, he's got it.
It was close. The Rigby guys had him, but Fulmer's a good downhill runner and was able to pick it up.
Yeah, first contact was made short of the first down marker, but Fulmer kept the legs going and picks up 3, so it's 1st and 10 for Highland. 6:05 to play here in the 3rd. Ball is at their own 46.
But again, kind of eating up a lot of clock, that it's not necessarily a time issue yet, but you'd kind of think Highland would want to kind of move a little more quickly here.
1st and 10. 2 receivers stacked to either side. Draw play. Fulmer gets the edge. Fulmer to the outside. Fulmer to the end zone for a Highland touchdown.
In for a Highland touchdown.
That is a 53-yard touchdown run.
Just like that, Highland, wow.
And again, Mason Fulmer, definitely more of a power back than a speed guy. Great blocking all the way across the board. Now the kick by Zarek Eunice is through, 35-21. Now the question is, can Highland get a stop on defense? We'll find out after this break. It's Gate City Game Night, presented by Lookout Credit Union on IdahoSports.com.
When joints begin to fail, it's more than an inconvenience. The relentless grinding pain slows you down and can even stop you from doing the things you enjoy in life. At Portneuf Medical Center, our skilled orthopedic experts are using advanced robotic surgeries to get you back to being you sooner with a less painful recovery. We're doing more than restoring joints. We're restoring lives.
Welcome back to Gate City Game Night on IdahoSports.com. Brandon Bainey with Sean Kane as we are at the 5:28 mark of the 3rd quarter. Rigby in front, 35-21 over Highland, and the Rams cut it to 2 scores on the 53-yard touchdown run by Mason Fulmer, and now they'll bomb this one into the end zone for a touchback. Tonight's game brought to you in part by Scotty's True Value and CarQuest, dedicated to providing you with great customer service and a wide variety of products unmatched to help take care of your every hardware, automotive, and weekend project need. They're located at 201 South State Street in beautiful downtown Rigby. Give them a call at 745-6498 or visit them online at truevalue.com/Scotties and let them take care of you the hometown way. Scotty's True Value is a proud supporter of Rigby Athletics. Go Trojans. Trojans back to work on offense. 1st and 10 from their own 20. Slot man in motion is Benedict. They will throw his way. They'll throw behind him, incomplete.
That would have been a live ball, right?
Yeah, without having a replay booth to look at it, but yes, generally if it's behind the line of scrimmage, live ball.
The second down.
Penalty flag down.
So what's the call here?
Too many people on the field, maybe?
Encroachment penalty on the Rams. It'll be second down and 5.
Obstruction? Encroachment.
So second and 5 now for the Trojans.
And the penalty yard just kind of rearing their ugly head for the Rams tonight.
Handoff to Klinger. Klinger gets a couple. It's going to be third down, though, for the Trojans.
In on the tackle. Brings up
And if Highland can find a way to get Rigby to punt, I mean,
that'd be huge.
It'd be game-changing.
3-yard run by Klinger makes it 3rd and 2 for Rigby. At the 28, they've got to get to the 30 for the first down. Flowers will give to Klinger, who's got the first down out to the 32. Might actually be the 33, a gain of 5.
Height with the tackle.
So Klinger for 5, and Rigby moves the sticks.
Klinger gets it out to a first down.
Meanwhile, clock
Rigby.
rolling, 4:40 to play here in the third. And a 2-score Trojans lead at 35-21. Handoff, and now the ball came out. They faked the handoff, and Flowers has to fall on it.
Covered by Flowers.
Back at the 35. So he actually gained a yard out of that, Sean, believe it or not.
Yeah,
A gain of 1.
disaster was looming.
And Hymus is like, hey, how come I can't get a yard when we have,
a bad handoff or a bad snap?
Balls that are on the ground. 2nd and 9 for the Trojans from their own 35. 3:55 to play in the third. Rigby and Highland in their conference opener. A game that more than likely will decide the High Country Conference title as well. Middle screen, wide open cut. That is Archibald, the tight end, for the first time tonight. And Aaron Archibald takes it out to the 45-yard line for a Rigby first down, gain of 11.
Rigby first down.
And so that's the thing. There's so many guys on this Rigby offense. There's not one guy you can key on.
No, and they've just had a kind of a good play calling, I think, tonight, just kind of mixing it enough and throwing in just enough runs to kind of open up some spots.
1st and 10. Handoff to Gamino. Breaks free. Gamino to the 40 and brought down after a gain of
brought down by Jonathan Snell.
16 and a first down. Really the first time tonight Rigby's had a run that's been more than 5 yards. So Gamino finds the seam, and 1st and 10 for Rigby, now ball at the Highland 40-yard line. Flowers, screen pass, caught Brady Packer. Packer spinning and brought down after a short gain. Nice tackle by Highland's Campbell Thomas that time. Packer gets 2.
2nd down and 8.
And I don't know how they do it, but Highland's got to kind of find a way to get some pressure on the quarterback. He's just kind of, Flowers has been able to just kind of sit there and really just kind of dictate the game, and I'd like to see Highland find a way to get some pressure on him.
Second and 8. And again, a short run off the right side for Gamino. And on the stop for Highland, Colton George. He's been a busy guy tonight. Gamino only gets 2. It's 2nd and 6, or 3rd and 6. Meanwhile, we're down to 1:50 to play in the third, and Rigby leading 35-21.
Big third down here.
They'll send everybody wide, including Klinger. Flowers pump fakes, and the play blown dead as Highland was about to bear down on a sack. The penalty flag comes, now they're going to call a false start. They blew the play dead. As the play was developing, the flag was never thrown, and so everyone was confused. Highland, meanwhile, had pretty much a sack, and after all of that, I believe they said false start against Rigby, so they'll back it up.
And then he threw it, the referee threw his flag out after the
Yeah.
act. Like, here you go. Interesting.
So 3rd and 10 now for Rigby following that penalty. Ball back at the 39-yard line. Same play, same formation. Flowers will take off and run this time. Lowering the shoulder, gets the first down. Gain of 15 for Luke Flowers. It'll be 1st and 10 for Rigby. Ball at the Highland 26.
First down, Rigby.
So Flowers says, whatever. I'll just pick up the first down on the ground. No big deal.
And that's kind of the first time we've seen him run, and obviously he could run the ball as well.
Yeah, big tall guy. Can move well. We're down to 1:09 to play in the 3rd, and Rigby on the move again. 1st and 10. Ball at the Highland 26. And off to Klinger off the right side. Only a couple.
Carry by Peyton Klinger. Brought up by Hudson John.
Maybe one more play before the end of the quarter.
2nd down and 8.
Klinger gets 2. 45 seconds and rolling here in the 3rd. 2nd and 8 for Rigby with the ball at the Highland 25. So really a gain of a yard on that carry for Klinger. 2nd and 9, Packer the man in motion. They will give to Gamino up the middle, and Gamino crawling his way down to the 19 for a gain of 6. It'll be 3rd and short. Coming up for Rigby with the ball in the Highland red zone when we start the 4th quarter. Or is Rigby going to try and hurry up and run a play with 4 seconds to play here in the 3rd? Flowers with a man in motion, may just be trying to get Highland to jump, and play blown dead. Penalty flag comes out as well, so we'll see what the call is here. And there's the fireworks also, so we have a lot of activity here at the end of the 3rd. Rigby was trying to run a play right before the end of the 3rd. Will the official pick up the flag and say it's the end of the period? While our officials discuss, I think they picked it up. We'll take a break. 4th quarter coming your way. Rigby up 35-21 over Highland. Gate City game night. Back after this on IdahoSports.com.
Team, when local matters. Valley Office Systems, your local provider for all things office. Copiers, printers, office furniture, and document management. Proudly serving Idaho since 1974. Valley Office Systems.
Welcome back to Gate City Game Night on IdahoSports.com, brought to you in part by Valley Office Systems and Rico, your local hometown office solutions team, delivering the level of service that you expect because they're a service company above all else. Valley Office Systems and Rico want to wish all the Gate City teams best of luck. As we start the 4th quarter, 3rd and 3 for the Rigby Trojans, ball at the Highland 19. And Rigby leading by 2 scores. Looking to go back up by 3, and they'll get the 3-score advantage with Sam Gamino right up the middle from 19 yards out. Touchdown, Rigby.
Nice job by the Rigby offensive line to open up that hole, and looking just to try to get the first down, but broke it open for a touchdown.
And again, whenever Highland starts to claw back, Rigby's there to answer, and so Witherspoon on for the point after try as well. Nailed it. One play into the 4th quarter. Only 5 seconds in.
And you know, Highland got got Rigby to some third downs and, was just kind of knocking on the door of a stop, and Rigby answered and ran it in for a touchdown.
So 42-21, Rigby leading tonight's game on IdahoSports.com, brought to you in part by Idaho Drug in Rigby, a tradition in pharmacy since 1947, where your health is their priority. Whether you need a prescription refilled on their mobile app or a gift for that special someone, visit Idaho Drug at 139 East Main Street for all your pharmacy and drugstore needs. They also offer free local delivery. Idaho Drug is a proud supporter of Rigby Athletics and wants to wish the boys good luck tonight. So Rigby appears to be on their way to a 1-0 start in High Country Conference action. And what would be a 6-1 overall mark. The conference champion gets a first-round bye and a home playoff game in the quarterfinal round. I was talking to Highland coach Nick Sorrell a little bit tonight about the weather. He said, is it really, October? Sure doesn't feel like it. And kind of jokingly, I said, yeah, who needs Holt Arena anyways, right?
That might not have went over
the weather is so nice. I said it tongue-in-cheek, and he said, yeah, hey, somebody's smiling down upon us because we've been pretty fortunate weather-wise being outdoors. On the kick return, trying to get to the edge is Kai Callan, and he won't get there. Knocked out of bounds around the 12.
Return by Callan.
First return of the night for Kai Callan for Highland, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Rams from their own 17. Yeah, well, they'll put it at the 18, from their own 18-yard line. So that'll be interesting, as we get to the postseason. Will teams choose to be outside? Will teams choose to go inside? Holt Arena hasn't hosted a single high school football game yet this year. They'll host a lot of playoff games, of course. And some teams, like Blackfoot is adamant. Like, they want to play outside. They don't want to be in the dome. They think the weather plays into what they want to do. Handoff up the middle for the Rams out to the 20. Gain of a couple.
Yeah, and for here in the Gate City, I think the teams have grown accustomed to their home fields, and they want their home field advantage as well.
Gain of about 3.
Rigby, of course, I think likes to play in the dome in Holt Arena. That carry was by Cade Jones for a gain of 2. The one championship, we talked about, they were one championship loss away from a three-peat, 3 in a row. That game they lost to Rocky Mountain by a 17-14 score was played in Madison, or in Rexburg at Madison's Field outdoors. It was a cold day. It was hard to hang on to the ball. It was like a rock. That's what led to a lot of the turnover problems that Rigby had. So I think they say, let's go inside. Let's do it.
Third down.
Short completion, 3rd and 6 now for the Rams of Highland. 10:40 to play.
I can tell you the way Rigby's playing tonight, they probably don't care. If they're playing like on all cylinders tonight on defense and offense, I'm sure they'll play anywhere.
Right. Last year, both Highland and Rigby had to hit the road. They had to go to the Boise Valley.
Rigby had the game against Meridian in overtime.
Yeah, triple overtime. Game was in the 50s. And Highland went to Eagle and knocked off the Mustangs on a
60-yard kick?
No, it wasn't 60. It was 50-something from Ian Hershey. That's a pass complete to Mason Fulmer out to the 35 for a Highland first down with 10:05 to play. But so whether you're at home, whether you're on the road, Highland and Rigby have both shown in the past that they can go on the road and deliver. Rigby's first championship came up at the Kibbe Dome in Moscow over Coeur d'Alene. So that's, it's supposed to be a home field advantage for Coeur d'Alene, and Rigby went up there and won that epic double overtime showdown. Handoff off the right side for Mason Fulmer out to the 40-yard line, gain of 5. 2nd and 5 for the Rams with 9.5 to play.
Yeah, they were trying to kind of run that same play where Fulmer broke loose for a touchdown on the edge, and Rigby was there this time, but still really good blocking by the Highland offensive line and receivers.
2nd and 4. Fulmer gets the call again, and will take it just shy of the first down. It'll be 3rd and 1. And so talking about, winning on the road in the playoffs, I talked about when Mason Fulmer was a freshman, and Highland knocked off Bora, the number 1 team. That was a road game in Boise.
First down, Highland.
And I think, when you've got programs that have strong pedigrees like Highland and Rigby, it doesn't really matter who you're playing, where you're playing. You feel like you've always got a chance.
Yeah, both teams, great coaching staffs. They're always prepared.
We saw that last year when both teams got to the championship game at the 5A level. Hymas taking off and staying on his feet for a 66-yard Highland Ram touchdown.
Touchdown, Highland.
Drew Hymas turns on the Jets, takes it to the house from 66 yards out. 56-yard touchdown. Here I am giving Hymas extra yardage. 56-yard touchdown run.
An electrifying run at that. He broke 2 tackles, sidestepped a couple guys. Jeez, amazing.
Zarek Eunice on for the point after try. With 8:41 to play, Eunice is good. So 42-28. Highland with 8:41 to play. And so now you start to think about, Sean, do you try the onside kick? Do you try and trust your defense to get a stop? Rigby hasn't punted a single time yet tonight.
Oh, man.
Tough call, right?
The defense, Highland's defense on that, last Rigby possession got them down into some 3rd down situations. I mean, they're getting a little stronger, but man, Rigby's offense has just been pretty much unstoppable tonight. And with only, 8 minutes and 41 seconds, maybe you do go on for an onside kick right now, just to mix it up. But tough decision for the coaching staff of Highland.
And that's why we are up here in the booth, right, Sean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a tough call.
I mean,
sure.
I just don't think you want to give Rigby a short field at any time.
Right. I mean, Highland's defense is good, right? It's not like you're looking to give up 42 points. Well,
no, thinking about that, Highland traveled to Meridian this year. They lost that game, but they only gave up 14 points to a pretty high-powered Meridian offense.
Yeah, lost that game 14-6. And so I think it speaks more to Rigby's offense, more so than Highland's defense. Highland also gave up 42 in their first game of the year at the Rocky Mountain Rumble against Lehigh, Utah, 42-7. Here is the onside kick. It is recovered by Highland. The Rams recover the onside kick. That was done to perfection. Jackson Sabunma recovers for the Rams.
Wow.
And that gets the crowd re-energized. Now the officials are going to talk. I think they're going to talk about, Sean, did it go 10 yards?
Great onside kick.
Where the ball is at right now, it does not look like it went the 10 yards, right? It looks like it went 9.
Yeah, I feel...
They're going to talk about it, and Highland fans may be disappointed here, depending on what they figure out.
But what a great kick.
Right, the kick's got to go 10 yards before the kicking team can touch it. And right now, they kick off from the 45. Ball is at the 46 of Rigby. This is a big call coming up, Sean.
And I thought it was just a little more over, but even where I thought it would be short, right? It's got to be all the way to that white line.
They're going to talk it over, make sure they get the correct call here. But, boy, the execution of that onside kick, and Jackson Sabunma with the recovery for Highland. And now the Highland fans preemptively booing. You feel like this is a huge call in the game.
And drawing it out doesn't make it feel really any better, right?
Right. And again, I think based on, initial eye test, I don't think that ball went 10 yards for Highland. I don't. I think Rigby is going to, this will be a penalty against Highland for an illegal touch. And then they'll get the ball back and they'll kick deep, I think is what will happen. But again, they're taking a long time to talk about it.
Yeah, and we've got a good view of where the ball is right now and where it went, and the fans might just not have that quite as good as a view. We've got a nice setup here, so where they're looking down on it, they're not going to be probably super excited.
Yeah, up here we've got the bird's eye view as we lord over all the spectators from our luxury suite.
Our perch.
I'm just kidding. Of course.
They did run out of nachos, but I won't put it down on the comment card.
And, they're taking a long time. They want to make sure they get this right. Certainly. They're going to talk it through, and we'll tell you again that tonight's game is brought to you by Valley Office Systems in Rico, your local hometown office solutions team, delivering the level of service that you expect because they are a service company above all else. Valley Office Systems in Rico want to wish all the Gate City teams best of luck. And there's the call. We thought so. Now head coach Nick Sorrell going to come out for the Highland Rams and talk about it. But I just don't think that ball went 10 yards, Sean.
Yeah, when you when you mentioned it and then I looked, I'm like it was going to be close.
And so Rigby will get the ball on offense at their own 46-yard line, a yard short.
Now it's moved up farther than where I don't know where they had put it was the actual mark, when we were looking while the refs were talking, but it is close.
The Highland fans letting their displeasure be known. But again, I think the right call was made. I really do. And that,
sometimes right doesn't always feel right.
That's right.
But at least, they took their time and made sure they got the correct call, and that's what
Yes.
the most important part is. You might not like it, but at the end of the day, the refs did the correct thing, and that's all you can ask for.
That's right. So now it's up to that Highland defense try and get a stop, and the crowd is certainly back in it, right? Rigby trying to run some more clock on offense with 8:41 to play. They will start with a sweet play for Brady Packer off the right side. Penalty flags come out from every direction at the end. For the moment, Packer's got 13 yards and a first down, but we'll wait and see.
One of them's a hold. Well, both of them are a hold.
Holding call against Rigby.
10 yards from that spot, so that run is negated.
So, here's the chance, right? Rigby, a big penalty on first down, is going to move it back to the 45 to make it 2nd and 11. I guess it wasn't that big of a penalty. 8.5 to play. It is 42-28. Rigby leading by 2 scores with the ball. Just trying to run the clock. Highland trying to get the ball back after an onside kick recovery overturned after it didn't go the 10 yards. It went 9.5. Hand off to Gamino left side. Will bang ahead for a gain of 3. It'll be 2nd and 8 now for Rigby.
Hudson John in on the tackle. Be 2nd down and 9.
Every time Highland and Rigby get together, it just feels like a heavyweight match, doesn't it?
Yeah, you've got things popping off, loud sounds. You've got fans cheering. You've got it all.
A lot of pomp and circumstance. 2nd and 8. Hand off to Gamino up the middle.
Gamino on the run.
To the 50-yard line. 2 more. It'll be 3rd down and
I'm just
6.
And I'm just thinking about the one comment you said. Highland's defense has not played bad tonight at all. The Rigby offense has just been just a different tier, a different level, and they're impressive.
Yeah, Rigby's hit a lot of big passing plays, right, for their touchdowns. 3rd and 6. Over the middle. It is off the fingertips. Incomplete.
Colton George on the defense.
Colton George on the coverage, and the intended receiver was Cohen Peck, and it's 4th down for Rigby. I'm sure they'll go for it here, Sean. Clock stops, though, with 6:58 to play.
You are right.
If Highland, just knowing Rigby feels confident that they can get this 4th and 6. I know they do. And maybe they'll try a hard count, get Highland to jump, and then take a timeout as Cade Steffler out on the perimeter, the wide receiver at the bottom of your screen, throwing his hands up saying, what's the call? 4th and 6, quick kick by Flowers will be picked up at the 5-yard line by Kai Callan, trying to reverse field. Callan out to the 30, the 35, and cut down there. So after the quick kick by
Callan on the return.
Rigby, Kai Callan with a pretty good return of 30 yards. It'll be 1st and 10 for Highland from their own 35 and 6:44 to play.
That was Luke Flowers in on the tackle there.
Yeah.
He came all the way down. That was a nice hit.
All right, offense, 1st and 10.
Head coach Armando Gonzalez never wants to see that, but hey, Flowers sticking in there and making the stop. 1st and 10 for Highland, and Rigby going to call a timeout here. That reminds me of a former Idaho great quarterback, Cody Pickett.
Oh, yeah.
Ended up playing college football for the University of Washington and then was a backup for the San Francisco 49ers for several years. Now he's back in Idaho, right? He's the girls basketball coach at Eagle High School. But I remember when Cody Pickett played in the NFL, he was like the 3rd-string QB for the 49ers. But, they put him out on the kickoff team because, he showed an ability to get downfield and make tackles and whatnot. And when you're the 3rd-string QB, they're not as worried about,
injuries.
Getting an injury. But, yeah, it was kind of cool to see Cody Pickett on the kickoff coverage team, certainly. Yeah. There's been some good ones in the state of Idaho over the years. Right? Jake Plummer, of course, is probably
the most famous.
Yeah, the most famous one.
Well, one of the most famous one came from right here from Highland, maybe.
Yeah, Taysom Hill, right? Currently balling out for the New Orleans Saints.
And he does just that. He'll go in and do whatever they ask him to do, right? So
yes,
he's made a good career of just doing whatever it takes.
There are 2 Highland Rams in the NFL right now, as Tommy Togiai, also defensive lineman for the Cleveland Browns. 1st and 10 for Highland. They'll start with a sweep play. Kai Callan trying to get to the edge. Now reverses back. Callan has blocking. Callan to the 50, the 45, and slips out of bounds at the 41-yard line. Kai Callan with a run of 24 and a 1st down. Yeah, just how they drew it up, Sean. Start one way, reverse all the way back.
He went like a 360, 580 turnaround. Jeez.
Got out of bounds as well. Stopped the clock with 6:32 to play. Highland trying to mount to come back down 2 scores. Rigby shows blitz. They bring it. Hymus rolling out. Will take off and run. The 35, the 30, and he'll tiptoe out of bounds. At the 30-yard line, a gain of 11 and a 1st down.
And a Highland 1st down.
All of a sudden, Highland, a 1st and 10 with the ball at the Rigby 30, down 2 scores and 6:26 to play. Rams trying to mount a comeback here. And what could be just the latest classic battle between these rivals. Late substitution for Rigby as a defensive lineman comes hustling on. 3 down linemen this time for the Trojans. 1st and 10. Handoff is to Cade Jones off the left side. Jones spins down to the 23-yard line, a gain of 7. So Jones for 7. We're down to 6:10 to play. 2nd and 3 for Highland. Ball at the Rigby 23-yard line. And it's a 42-28 Rigby lead. Highland trying to cut it down to 1 score. Drew Hymus jogs all the way to the sideline and back to the huddle to get the play.
Yeah, I feel like they're using a lot of time.
Down to 5:45 to play now. Hymus with Callan, the man in motion. Quarterback keeper for Hymus trying to bounce outside, has the 1st down and ducks out of bounds around the 15. They'll officially mark him out at the 16-yard line. A pickup of 7 and a first down. And again, got out of bounds to stop the clock with 5:34 to play. 42-28. Rigby lead is 14. Highland with a 1st and 10, though, at the Trojans' 16-yard line.
Now just think about this. If, say, Highland scores here, do they go for the onside kick again?
Well, a little tougher to execute when Rigby knows what's coming unless you have a second onside kick ready to go. A different look. Hymas up the middle, slips out of it to the 10 and out of bounds around the 7. How did he escape that pressure? There were 3 Trojans converged on him, and next thing you know, Hymas is off and running for a gain of 9.
Wow, just a nice sidestep by Hymas. And I'm talking to, some coaches that, at one point they thought he might be a running back here at Highland, and he's done a really good job at the quarterback position, but you could see why you if you're an offensive coordinator, you'd want him as your running back.
Right. Great speed, and he's pretty good at, as a quarterback, you can see those running back traits where he's pretty good at reading the defense and knowing where to cut and where to run. 2nd and a short one, 5:27 to play. Ball is at the Rigby 7. Fulmer up the middle, inside the 5, down around the 2-yard line where it'll be 1st and goal for Highland.
Gets it down to about the 3 and a 1st down and goal to go.
Let's see where they officially put the ball at. It's going to be at the 3, so a 4-yard gain for Fulmer. 1st and goal from the 3 for Highland. Clock running at 5:20. They'll hurry up to the line. Hymas gives to Fulmer, crashing into the end zone for a Highland touchdown. We're back to a 1-score game with 5:13 to play.
Good work up front by the offensive line and good drive.
It's kind of like they ran the same 2 plays right in a row there.
Well, Shelley did that last week against Pocatello and
Yeah.
scored the game-winning touchdown with 5 seconds to play. Big extra point from Zarek Eunice, and it's through.
Eunice is good.
So Fulmer scores on the 3-yard run.
Cut to 7.
Highland says we're not done yet, and it's 42-35. Highland was down by 21 in this 4th quarter. They were down 42-21 with 11:55 to play in the 4th. They get a 56-yard touchdown run by Drew Hymas. An onside kick that was recovered by Highland and Jackson Sabunma. Unfortunately, the ball needed to go 10 yards. It went 9.5. But despite that, Rigby's defense holds. They force the first punt of the night from Rigby. It's a quick kick. Kai Callan gets a great return out to the 35. And from there, Highland just slowly matriculates their way down the field. The drive capped off by the 3-yard touchdown run by Mason Fulmer. And really, for both sides tonight, Sean, it has been a communal effort. At times the offense has made plays, at times the defense has made plays, and both special teams units have made plays tonight.
Yeah, and really the deciding factor was that blocked punt at the start of the 1st quarter, and that's the difference still now, 7 points.
Eunice set the kick.
Deep kick into the end zone for a touchback. And so 1st and 10 for the Trojans with 5:13 to play. Rigby would love to run the clock here. They'd love a touchdown even more.
Yeah, you kind of thought the game was getting a little out of reach, and just like that, Highlands made a nice little comeback. And again, it will be, can Highlands defense hold Rigby, or can Rigby get some first downs and just run the clock? I think you also got to watch out for the long ball from Rigby. I don't think they're afraid to take a shot at any point either.
That was a big factor in their first punt of the night on the last possession, right? They had a couple of passes that fell incomplete. 1st and 10 from their own 20. High snap. Penalty flag out. This will be a false start.
Penalty on the Trojans.
They had the running back, Sam Gamino, kind of shuffling his feet like he was, going to deke somebody out, but then he never got set. He never got set when they snapped the ball, so
And they've had that. Rigby's had that happen a couple times tonight.
He kind of looked like. Do you remember, Sean, when you played football, right?
I didn't play football.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, when
I mean, I know I look like it.
When you play football and you are like doing defensive drills, the coach like makes you like run in place and blows the way. I mean, that's what it looked like Gamino was doing on that last play, but
like up downs, but with a little jog in them.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Who played football now?
Still not you.
No.
1st and 15 for the Trojans following the penalty with 5:12 to play here in the fourth quarter and leading 42-35. They will keep it with Flowers around the edge. Not much doing. Flowers gets a couple. And making the stop for Highland that time was Campbell Thomas. Flowers gets one, and that's it. So it's 2nd and 14 for Rigby, ball at their own 16, and again, they'll let the clock run down as far as they can each play. We're down to 4:45 and counting here.
This couldn't be. I mean, this is the scenario Highland wants, right? I mean, this is good for their defense.
2nd and 14. Flowers sends Gamino out in the flat. This is going to be a quarterback draw for Flowers. And we'll take it out to the 23, where it'll be 3rd down and about 8.
Brings up 3rd down and 8.
So Flowers is able to pick up 6. And again, monumental 3rd down because where the ball's at currently, Rigby's on 23-yard line. This is not 2-down territory.
No.
So if Highland gets a stop here on 3rd and 8, they're going to get the ball back. We're down to 4 minutes to play in this ball game. What will the Rigby Trojans dial up here? I'm sure they'll go to the air, Sean.
Interesting lineup there.
Everybody bunched in tight. It is a pass. Flowers has time. Going for the home run. Ball overshoots his man. Trying to go to Brady Packer for the game buster. Flowers overshoots him. It's 4th down. The clock stops. And Rigby will have to punt with 3:44 to play. I like the play call. I love the play call. The pass was just a little too far in front of Brady Packer.
And that was a similar formation that they hit that for a long, deep pass earlier tonight. So, yeah, just a little long.
So here is the punt from Rigby. Witherspoon uncorks. Not a fair catch called for. Now on the return. This is a big return for Ridge Barella all the way to the 25-yard line. Ridge Barella with an incredible punt return out to the 25-yard line with 3:33 to play. Oh, I thought he did the fair catch. It was close. And then he's able to take off and run and take it out to the 26-yard line. And Highland with 3:33 to play, down 7. Plenty of time with the ball at the 26.
And it's, in a game, kind of researching and previewing for this game, I thought it might kind of be a defensive battle, and it's kind of a shootout.
Yeah, so much for our preconceived notions.
A shootout at Iron Horse.
Like the Old West. 1st and 10. Handoff is to Mason Fulmer, and Fulmer sticking with it. Penalty flag comes out at the end.
Flag on the play.
Fulmer, for the moment, has taken it for a gain of 3. Let's see what the call is here with 3:27 to play, and Rigby leading 42-35. It is a face mask on Rigby. I think it's a 5-yard variety. The incidental face mask. We'll see where they put it at. Yeah, just the 5-yard penalty. So it will be 2nd and 1 now for Highland.
First down and a long 1.
Following the penalty. Or I guess technically 1st down and 1. Don't get to see that every day.
1st down and 1.
So the ball now at the Rigby 17-yard line with 3:27 to play. Rigby up 42-35. They led once upon a time 42-21. Highland trying to mount a comeback for the ages. Barella the man in motion. Play action. Hymas swallowed up in the backfield. 2 Trojans in on the stop. Easy to identify because they're right next to each other. 44 and 45. Abram Womack and Sam Webster. Combo on the stop. Hymas ends up losing 4 yards, and it's 3rd and 5 now for Highland with the ball back at the Rigby 21.
It's just kind of interesting, you know, it's 1st and 1, now it's 2nd and 5.
Yeah, right, we're getting some interesting. So 2nd and 5, 2:45 to play in the ball game. Meanwhile, Highland down 7, handoff to Fulmer again, nowhere to go. Rigby charging through defensively. Sam Webster and Chance Isom combo on the tackle. Highland going backwards. Fulmer loses 4. It's now 3rd and 9. We went from 1st and 1 to 2nd and 5 to 3rd and 9. If we entered the twilight zone, what happened here?
It's just kind of unreal. And Highland's offense, you know, in the previous drive had just been rolling, and now the Rigby defense all of a sudden has come out of nowhere. I wouldn't say nowhere, but they've come out and they've really stepped up.
3rd and 9 from the Rigby 26. Trojans bring the blitz. Hymas throws a jump ball over the middle. It is caught for a Highland touchdown through a sea of Rigby hands. He's able to find Ridge Barella for the touchdown. We are an extra point away from a tie ball game with 2 minutes on the nose to play.
And what was it? There was about 3 Rigby defensive players, and Hymas just lofted that right in, put the baby bird in the nest.
Rigby brought the safety blitz. Hymas recognizing, not a perfect throw, but he got it to his guy, and oh my goodness.
He got it just high enough, right?
Like a jump shot, right? Like a 3-point basket. There was arc on it. Look at this. Highland going for 2 and the lead. They've got it to Barella. Oh my goodness. Highland went for 2 and they lead for the first time tonight.
Wow.
Nick Sorrell, the Riverboat Gambler, goes for 2. Rigby wasn't ready. Ridge Barella left alone for the 2-point conversion. And Highland leads with 2 minutes to play.
Barella.
What a comeback for the Rams. They were down 21. They have scored 22 unanswered.
Wow. And what a play, what a call to go for 2 right there. I wasn't ready.
Well, you know, the Rigby defense wasn't either. Oh my goodness. An all-time classic.
Yeah, so 2 minutes left, and Highland gets their first lead of the entire game.
And Highland definitely has the momentum, but this Rigby offense, we know, can strike very quickly.
They only needed a minute 30 earlier in the game, so plenty of time.
Yeah, they got the ball with a minute 30 before halftime, and were able to score in short order. So now a huge kickoff coming here. What kind of return can Rigby get? It's a line drive taken at the 5. Packer on the return, slipped down at the 20. Highland fired up on the special teams tackle for the Rams. It was Markel Bowens. And so now here's the situation for Rigby. They've got to go 80 yards for the lead. Now, keeping in mind, Sean, with 1:56 to play, Rigby down 43-42. You mentioned it earlier. They've got a good kicker in Witherspoon.
Yeah, you know, you don't have to get all the way down there to win, so they've got some options.
1st and 10. Flowers slings, completes to the far sideline to Archibald. So Aaron Archibald's able to pick up 5. It'll be 2nd and 5. He gets out of bounds and stops the clock at 1:51.
Aaron Archibald.
And the crowd here in Iron Horse has just come alive.
Yeah, Highland fans on their feet making some noise for sure. The Rigby fans remain seated. 2nd and 5. Flowers over the middle, throws wide. Incomplete. Intended receiver was Klinger, the tailback. It was Colton George on the coverage. And now it's 3rd and 5.
And what a game Colton George is having tonight, man. We've heard his name all night long.
1:48 to play. Highland leading 43-42. Rigby facing a 3rd and 5 from their own 25. Flowers, pump fakes, now slings sidearmed. It's caught by Brady Packer, but only back to the original line of scrimmage. On the tackle for the Rams, Eli Anderton, the senior defensive end. Highland nearly got home on the sack. A sidearm, Patrick Mahomes-style pass from Flowers. It was complete to Packer, but for maybe half a yard, and that's it. And now, Sean, 1:37 to play. Rigby down 43-42. A 4th and 5 from their own 25. They have called a timeout. What play call is Armando Gonzalez drawing up here, Sean?
Oh, man. Always coming to me for these. I don't know, but what I do know is the Highland defense has come alive, and they're getting pressure on Flowers like I kind of thought they needed to, and that's made a huge difference. If I'm Rigby, I mean, you've got maybe that kind of same where they have them all bunched together on the lineup and look for that deep ball.
Here's what I think. They'll have 4 wide with the back. They'll send the back out to a 5 wide look, and they'll run that QB draw with Flowers. They've run that a couple of times tonight. I guess we'll see. Highland fans on their feet. Iron Horse Stadium rocking and rolling. 4th and 5 for the Rigby Trojans with 1:37 to play, down 1. And the play blown dead. Penalty flag comes out. False start on the Trojans.
And it was kind of the same thing for the Trojans with the running back in motion, right? I mean, I think that's what.
And it's a 4th down, a long 9 coming up.
So now it's 4th and 10.
Hey, make it 11. 4th and 11.
4th and 10 for the Trojans. Ball back at their own 20. They've got to get to the 30 for the first down. 1:36 to play. Flowers, back to pass. Flushed out, on the run, hit as he throws, incomplete pass. Penalty flag on the far side. Hold the phone. Highland celebrating, but there is a penalty flag, and now a second flag comes out for an excessive celebration because a Highland player took his helmet off on the field. That was a mistake. We'll see what the penalty on the far side was as well. That looks to be in the area of maybe a defensive hold, pass interference, and then clearly Highland fired up, but I think it was, I'm not sure which player that was, but he took his helmet off on the field. That's a big no-no. So there's going to be a couple of penalties to sort out here, Sean.
You've got that right.
Meanwhile, the pass rush for Highland again, really causing Flowers to feel uncomfortable there, but this could be, some big penalty yardage. Holding against the Rams, and an unsportsmanlike a sideline warning, okay. So Highland is not going to get flagged for taking their helmet off on the field. But the defensive holding penalty makes it 4th and 1 now for Rigby with 1:30 to go, and the Trojans weren't ready. Now they're going to scramble and line up. 4th and 1 with 1:30 to play. Rigby down 1. False start. The offensive line moved early.
False start penalty on the Trojans.
Can you believe it?
You knew they were going to try and run the QB sneak, and they were trying to quick count. But with the Highland fans making noise and all of that, it's a 5-yard penalty, and instead of 4th and 1, it's 4th and 6. This is the longest 4th down sequence
ever
in the history of American football.
All right, Rams
1:29 to play. Highland fans again on their feet. 4th and 6 for Rigby from their 24. They've got to get to the 30. Rigby down 1. Flowers has time, takes a deep shot, overthrows his man. Turnover on downs. Highland gets the ball back.
And the Rams take over on downs.
Wow, just unreal sequence of events there.
Now Rigby will have 2 timeouts remaining. So Highland, if they pick up a first down, it's over.
It'll be 1st down and 10, Highland.
What a comeback by the Highland Rams. They are 1 minute and 23 seconds away from one of the biggest comebacks we've seen this year in the entire state of Idaho. They're going to line up and kneel down. Hymas will take the knee. Looks like Rigby will let the clock roll. And so,
wow.
Remember 5 seconds into the fourth quarter, Rigby had scored, and it was 42-21.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of thought, could Highland, come back after that point? And man, did they.
This will send shockwaves throughout the entire state as the Highland Rams, down 21 in the fourth quarter, score 22 unanswered to come away with a 43-42 win over Rigby. Another kneel down and 40 seconds to play. Well, last week, Sean, we had a QB sneak by Shelley with 5 seconds left for the winning score. I thought, how are we going to top that this week? Done.
Done. I mean, I can't believe it. Just the turn of the events in the fourth quarter are just unreal.
The celebration is on as the Highland Rams score 22 unanswered in the fourth quarter and stun the Rigby Trojans, 43-42 the final. Highland starts High Country Conference playoff with a 1-point win. There's the final gun, 43-42 the final. What a ball game, and the celebration is on for the Highland Rams. We will be back with the IdahoSports.com post-game show right after this break. What a night for Gate City Game Night, presented by Lookout Credit Union on IdahoSports.com.
So, what do you like about Lookout Rewards Plus checking?
It pays a high rate of interest on the money in our account. The identity theft protection provides peace of mind. There's the mobile phone protection.
Yeah?
Including accidental damage, mechanical...
When local matters, Valley Office Systems, your local provider for all things office. Copiers, printers, office furniture, and document management. Proudly serving Idaho since 1974. Valley Office Systems.
Some days, I choose the most difficult trail. I test my limits.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy, but I know it's the right way.
When I get done with my ride and I look back at what I've just accomplished, I feel amazing.
It takes courage and determination to do hard things.
But you can do them.
Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
You can't make summer stand still, so make the most of every last second with a new Toyota at Toyota's National Sales Event.
During Toyota's National Sales Event, discover our wide variety of fuel-efficient electrified vehicles. Toyota, let's go places.
We're a valley-wide country store. For 100 years, we've been your #1 choice for food, fuel, farm supplies, and just about everything else you could need to get you through your day. We know you work until the job is done, and so do we. For gas on the go, or a little extra to help you get down the road, you can count on us. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
Vaping sucks you in quick, and the more you vape, the harder it is to quit. Not to mention all the chemicals and health problems. That's why thousands of teens are joining My Life, My Quit. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text Start My Quit to 36072.
All right, I put this on one check. Is that okay? Draw?
That was fast and secure. It's Mobile Wallet from Lookout Credit Union.
Your home team, when local matters. Valley Office Systems, your local provider for all things office. Copiers, printers, office furniture, and document management. Proudly serving Idaho since 1974. Valley Office Systems.
Welcome back to Gate City Game Night on IdahoSports.com and the IdahoSports.com post-game show. One final time here from Iron Horse Stadium. Brandon Bainey alongside Sean Kane, where, well, a game that Highland and Rigby fans will be talking about for years to come as they continue to play Celebration by Kool and the Gang, because the Highland Rams complete a remarkable comeback and win 43-42 the final over the Rigby Trojans. Highland was down 21 points in the fourth quarter, scored 22 unanswered to complete the comeback. How did we get to this point? This was such a wild game. We're going to recap all the scoring, and then we'll hand out our IdahoSports.com player of the game presented by the Idaho Transportation Department. Opening drive, Highland goes 3 and out. They have to punt from their own end zone. Rigby blocks the punt. Jack Butrero takes it 10 yards in for the punt return touchdown, punt block touchdown. 7-0 Rigby without the offense ever taking the field. Highland ties it up 2 minutes later on a 40-yard touchdown run by Drew Hymas. So we're tied at 7-all, 7:03 to play in the first. Rigby gets the ball on their first drive. They march it right down the field. Peyton Klinger scores on a 5-yard run. It was 14-7 Rigby at the end of the first quarter. On to the second quarter. It was a double reverse flea flicker. Luke Flowers throws it 52 yards to Cade Steffler for the Rigby touchdown. The Trojans were up 21-7 with 5:11 to play before halftime. Highland gets a score, though, right before halftime. As they come out with a trick play of their own. It was a wide receiver pass for a touchdown. Rich Barella throws it 30 yards to Kai Callan, and you're thinking, all right, Highland's within 21-14, but they left too much time on the clock for Rigby. There's about 1:30 to play before halftime. Rigby gets the ball, marches down the field. Luke Flowers finds Cade Steffler again for a 20-yard score, and at halftime, it was 28-14 Rigby, and we thought, boy, Rigby's going to get the ball to start the second half as well. Highland could be in trouble here, right?
Yeah, you thought, Rigby getting the ball again, Highland's going to be in trouble, and they kind of were. I mean, Rigby comes out and scores again.
Yes, opening drive of the third quarter. Rigby scores on a 64-yard bomb from Flowers to Brady Packer, 35-21. Rigby was up 3 scores at that point with 9:28 to play in the third. Highland never said die, though. That 35-14 Rigby was up. Highland cuts it to 35-21 on their next drive as Mason Fulmer takes it off tackle for a 53-yard touchdown run. So Highland's within 2 scores again, 35-21 with 5:38 to play in the third. That was the score at the end of 3, 35-21. But 5 seconds into the fourth quarter, Rigby scores again on a 19-yard touchdown run by Sam Gamino. And so with 11:55 to play, Rigby back up by 3 scores, 42-21, and that's where the comeback begins. Highland gets the ball and scores on a 56-yard touchdown run by Drew Hymas. 8:41 to play. Highland's within 2 at 42-28, 2 scores. They go for the onside kick and recover. Jackson Sabunma recovers the onside kick, but after the officials got together and talked about it, it was determined, and I believe this was the right call, that the ball needs to travel 10 yards before Highland can touch it. It went 9.5. So Rigby gets the ball at midfield, and you're thinking, oh boy, Rigby up 2 scores could really put this game to bed. But Highland defense rises to the occasion, forces the punt. And so Rigby quick kicks the punt. Kai Callan gets a pretty good return on it. Highland gets the ball back down, 2 scores. And Highland marches down the field again. A 3-yard touchdown run by Mason Fulmer brings the Rams to within 5, 42-35 with 5:13 to play. So what does Highland do? Do they go for the onside kick again? No, they trust their defense. They kick it deep to Rigby. A drive that was stunted by a couple of incomplete passes, a couple of penalties. Rigby has to punt again. And this is where really the momentum swung. There was about 3.5 minutes to play. The punt was a line drive kick that Ridge Barella took 35 yards all the way to the Rigby 25-yard line. That was a huge punt return by Ridge Barella. And all of a sudden, Highland had the ball pretty much at the red zone. And with 3 minutes to work with, they'd only need a minute of that as the what ends up being the game-winning touchdown, 26-yard pass from Drew Hymas to Ridge Barella. And then very quickly, Highland gets to the line and runs the 2-point conversion. It's Hymas to Barella again. Nobody out covering him for Rigby. Rigby caught flat-footed a little bit. So Highland gets the touchdown and the 2-point conversion, and they're up 43-42 with 2 minutes to play. But we're thinking, all right, Rigby's still getting the ball. They've got a chance to mount a drive. Well, a couple of incomplete passes, a couple of penalties. You know, it ends up coming down to a 4th and 6th play, and Luke Flowers overshoots his receiver. Highland gets the turnover on downs. They run out the clock from there, and Highland completes a 21-point comeback by scoring 22 unanswered. They go for the 2-point conversion and win 43-42. What an incredible comeback.
Yeah, just a great comeback for Highland, and it really started with Highland's defense getting pressure on Flowers of Rigby. I thought was a big key to it, and yeah, just a great job by Highland to stick with it, because it would have been really easy just to kind of, not, get back in this game, but some big plays by the Highland team, and they came back to win it, and I think it's that time.
Yeah, there's probably about 10 different guys we could give it to tonight, but our IdahoSports.com player of the game presented by the Idaho Transportation Department. Sean, what do you got?
Ridge Barella. He was the momentum swing for the game. He had 4 catches for 50 yards and the game-winning touchdown and the game-winning 2-point conversion. He also threw a pass, a 30-yard pass for a touchdown. But really, I kind of thought was the biggest play was that 35-yard punt return, which set up the winning drive for the Highland Rams tonight. So Ridge Barella is our player of the game.
What a phenomenal night for the Highland Rams. They win 43-42 the final over the Rigby Trojans. Snap a 4-game losing streak to Rigby in this rivalry series.
Beat a 5A team.
Yes, their first 5A win of the year. And now they're in the driver's seat for winning the regular season district title, right? They still got to get through Madison and Thunder Ridge in the next 2 weeks, but Highland's in the catbird seat now for that first round bye and home playoff games and all of that great stuff. Highland with the win improves to 4-3 on the season overall, 1-0 in district play. Rigby drops to 5-2, and they start their conference slate 0-1. Up next Friday, Rigby will host Thunder Ridge. And then they'll host Madison in the regular season finale. So 2 home games for Rigby to close out. And again, this is important because there's only 2 guaranteed bids to the playoffs from District 5-6. We remember what happened last year where Rigby beat Highland, Highland beat Madison, and then Madison beat Rigby and caused this big 3-way tie. Now, all 3 teams ended up making the playoffs, but there's no guarantee that happens again this year with only 2 guaranteed bids. So Rigby's going to have to close strong against Thunder Ridge and Madison the next 2 weeks. And for Highland, they finish with the reverse, right? Madison,
and
Thunder Ridge. And then Thunder Ridge. So they will be in Rexburg at Madison next week in a game that, they win that, they probably win the conference title.
Yeah, I think Highland is definitely in the driver's seat, and like you said, getting that home game might be a difference maker for one of these teams. So Highland's got to take care of the rest of the season. So so does Rigby. Rigby's a great team, as was displayed tonight, and they'll be in the hunt to get in a playoff spot as well.
One of those games where it's a shame that someone has to lose, but tonight it is the Rigby Trojans falling by 1. Highland wins 43-42. This has been an IdahoSports.com GameStreams production of Gate City Game Night, presented by Lookout Credit Union. Tonight's game also has been sponsored by Valley Office Systems and Portneuf Medical, along with our major advertising partners, Project Filter, Valleywide Cooperative, the Idaho Transportation Department, the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, Next Steps Idaho, and your local Toyota dealers. Big thanks to our local sponsors tonight as well, Idaho Drug and Rigby, Scotty's True Value and CarQuest, Briggs Steel, and Dacry Bernard Realty. Big thanks to Travis Bell, the athletic director here at Highland, and all of the Rams that help you enjoy this game tonight. We couldn't do it without them, as Highland wins 43-42. They complete the 21-point deficit by scoring 22 unanswered in the fourth quarter to shock the Trojans. Behind Ridge Barella, our IdahoSports.com player of the game, caught the game-winning touchdown pass and the game-winning 2-point conversion. Also threw a 30-yard touchdown pass on a wide receiver pass in the first half. All right, well, Sean, rest up. We'll be back at it again next week. I'm not sure where we're going. Oh, you know where we're headed next week?
Sugar.
We're going up to Sugar for East Idaho game night. Teton and Sugar. That's going to be a fantastic battle.
Yeah, that's a couple of heavyweights, and Teton wants to be recognized, and they'll get a chance to against a very dominant Sugar Salem team.
Yeah, that's going to be a really good one. But until then, thanks for tuning in, everybody. For Sean Kane, I'm Brandon Baney. Good night from IdahoSports.com.
This has been a presentation of IdahoSports.com GameStreams. This broadcast is copyrighted to IdahoSports.com.